5, 4, 3. Feel free to
2-1.
2.
We're public.
Not that fast. 1. And there's the bang. And then there's the bang. And we're live. Conversations Plus. We will be live with Chris Pirillo. This is his chair. There's light actually now. There's the logo designed by B.J. Woods. You know her as Bobbi Joe. And we have guest Aaron Wood is hanging out with us. Hello. Say hello. Aaron Wood draws stuff, and he comes to h.i.r.l sometimes.
And I freak out.
And he freaks out all the time.
He freaked out because the Giants won. No, anyway. Peter McDermott, welcome to Conversations Plus. You got a couple of hairs cut, and I noticed that chi is on your vest. What is up with that?
Yeah, it's actually, if you're Spanish and have a question for chi, you say, "Que, chi?"
Nice. Bobbi Joe enjoyed that joke. Robert Anderson. Wow, Robert Anderson. How are you? Good to have you here. I appreciate the collared shirt. Very nice. Ryan Van Sickle has joined us. Carter Gibson, too. I know how Carter likes to be broadcast. And Stacy, one of the Nomies, Bungling Conversations Plus. And Carter. Oh, wait, let me say hi. There you go. Sorry.
Hi.
Hey, Carter, we're kind of live, and we're waiting for Chris to come back. Carter Gibson. Yawning, as usual. And Ryan Van Sickle, how was your concert? Sorry to butt heads with your concert. Hopefully I didn't take too many of your fans away.
Oh, yeah, all my fans. All 4 of them.
Right.
Aww.
There's 4.5.
Live.
You're right, 4.5.
What do you mean? There was at least 70 people at your New York City concert that I paid to be there.
If it was what it was, then it will be what it can't.
I never said Peter McDermott was profound. Hey, Peter, use this time while we need Chris to talk about the Plusketeer charity at Sarah Hill. Let's talk a little bit more about that. It's all you.
Yeah, absolutely. So to the 7 people that are watching this right now, there is a charity. Sarah is trying to prove a point to, well, I can't really tell you who she's trying to prove the point to. But basically, she's trying to show that people are watching the back channel, people care about interacting, and there's a lot of humanity on this network. So we selected a charity called Pet International, which is about personal energy transportation. And basically, it's a hand-cranked device that works like a wheelchair in places where a wheelchair wouldn't work, like Honduras and other countries throughout the world that lack the infrastructure we have here. So Sarah's scheming right now to raise $1 million, which would purchase 4,000 of the pet carts at a cost of $250 each. I'm trying to make a contribution of $50,000 to join me. Go to crowdwise.com/McDermott to join Team McDermott. And you can learn more about the charity at plusketeers.org or on my website, petergmcdermott.com.
And a little bit about Plusketeers, that little thing that me and you are working on.
Well, I was trying to keep it under wraps.
Yeah, I don't need you to say a lot. I just was like maybe.
Well, that was kind of a double
about
entendre because your name's Rappaport. So if we were keeping it under, that's you.
Oh, Oh, wow, really, Peter? You just went there. You went there long and hard.
I did. Well, Matthew Rappaport and I are on an endeavor to start a funny thing, something funny, because everything here has gotten too damn serious. And if you agree with that, please +1 the video you're watching now, or applaud. And to cut the seriousness and create some fun here, we're going to be doing a weekly live on-air hangout where we're going to find things that are fun, funny, and interesting. And we're going to be auctioning off the spot for the 3rd Plusketeer. All proceeds will benefit the Pet International charity as part of the Plusketeers fundraiser.
That is awesome. Thank you for doing that. And we did lose Stacy, but we gained Steve Quinn. Welcome to Conversations Plus. I like your setup.
The mighty Quinn.
The mighty Quinn. Right. What are you drinking there, mighty Quinn?
Just rum and Coke today.
Oh, just rum and Coke. Okay, cool.
Just rum and Coke.
Awesome.
Sounds
Is it
like
the best rum in the world?
Martinez's favorite drink.
Oh, there you go. Awesome.
Yeah, I see you have a schedule going on. Are we on your schedule? What's up with that?
Every day. Every day, man.
Does it work?
What's that?
Does it work? Do you follow it?
I try.
Cool.
How are you guys tonight? You good?
We're good. Yeah, we talked to Chris Pirillo, and we're waiting for him to come back for some Conversations Plus. We're live right now.
That was an amazing hangout.
Cool. Oh, did you catch some of it? Awesome. I saw your
Yes, you asked my question to him. It was fantastic.
I did. You're right. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I did. That's you. Hey, Stacy's back. So Stacy's mom's got to go on. Is that usually Stacy Frazier? But you can. I guess for you, that works. Hey Ryan, what are you laughing at? I would ask you to do a cover of that song, but again, we're live, so guess that won't be happening. Look who's back! Back again.
There he is.
Got some wine. He's
Ladies and
almost
gentlemen,
ready.
from the land of red.
The land of gnomes. Peter
like that.
McDermott.
PGP.
Peter, you want to do a little introduction of Chris Pirillo? Just talk like a crazy long introduction until he turns around with your deep.
Can I have my back to the camera while I do it?
You can, yeah. Do it.
Start with In a World.
Dun, dun, dun.
In a world, one man with more computers than you could ever want. He's been on TV 4,363.5 times. He has 742 domains. He is the man behind the gnome.
Chris Pirillo.
Oh my God. You've just been granted a strange and cheesy intro
That was epic.
by the wonderful and effervescent and creepy sometimes Peter McDermott.
I'm confused.
Oh, we've already started just for the heck of it, and he's just introducing you because there's no rules.
I
What
assume.
he does.
Just in case 2 people on the internet didn't know who you were.
Well, there are 2 people actually that don't too. So, Peter's got his KG shirt on, so that's what he wears when he wants to talk G in Spanish. And
It's his queso shirt. It's very cheesy.
It's what?
It's very cheesy.
so, Chris, you got something to eat, and you scarfed it down, and you're back to the
Yes.
bottled wine, which
Uh-huh.
is nice.
Chris, what kind of red are you chewing on there?
This would be a Coppola Syrah. Very nice wine. It's one of my favorites out of the bottle.
Which is rare, because he's a box wine guy, so, right?
Typically.
So, does anyone have any questions for Chris? Go ahead. Ryan's laughing. Ryan had a concert while we were talking to Chris.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
laughing at you.
You laugh. Yeah, that's fine.
Chris,
Laugh at me.
I do have a question. Where did the whole gnome thing come from? Like, I understand the locker bit. Like, were you ever actually shoved into a locker, or is that
No,
just...
it's just an old high school nickname.
So, was it like a favorable nickname, or was it derogatory?
Well,
Or
it wasn't derogatory. Not that I know of.
So we decided while you were gone you weren't actually eating anything. You just went to go snort a couple lines of the internet.
Yeah, that too. I got both of them in.
Nice.
One for each
No,
nostril.
No, I sat down and hit refresh on one of the closed groups on Facebook, and it looks like Facebook just, sorry, I know this is Google+, but it just
That's
revamped its groups page.
I got blocked from adding anyone on Facebook for 7 days because I went and started adding the people that I met on Google+. I decided that I don't actually know those people and blocked me from adding anyone.
Yeah, it does that. So. Chris? What do you think about that whole thing that Facebook had? That whole thing where it's like, do you really know this person? Do you really know them? Don't add them unless you really know them. Like that whole.
So I'm again an edge case, as I mentioned in the other hangout, and so I actually toggled it so that you could not add me as a friend without.
Email, phone number.
No, without no, that's everywhere.
Without
Without
rolling?
first having a shared connection. So the only way to add me, and even then, I've got a laundry list of God knows how long, a list of people that have been trying to add me as a Facebook friend that I just have not reciprocated. Even with 22 mutual friends, I'm like, no.
No.
This summer, the reciprocation hesitation.
Kind of.
I won't even have my family on Facebook, so.
You're one
I'll
of
do
you.
that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Same for me.
You know, I get so freaked out when weird people I don't know circle me on Google+. Where do they come? How do they? What?
Yeah, so
I'm-
freaked out. Like Aaron Wood freaked out. Crazy.
Dude, it's
But
the
no,
internet.
that's the
Just assume
sentiment.
everyone's weird, right?
Do you hear that from a lot of people, Chris? Like, they get on here and then like weird people circle them and they're like, oh, this is weird, I'm gone.
Yeah, some people don't like that or aren't used to it, but it's par for the course for me.
So, gaming. Chris, do you have time for gaming? We didn't really touch gaming too much.
Gaming? No.
Not really. All right.
There's no gaming.
There is no game.
He lies. He plays
You guys catch
Minecraft
any
all
of
the
the
time.
NASCAR hangout tonight?
I do not play Minecraft.
What did you say, Stacy?
He said I played Minecraft.
Oh. No Minecraft on Chris Pirillo's schedule.
So, Chris, what's your favorite bar game? Do you like pool, darts? What do you?
He doesn't play games. That includes bar games. Come on.
Miss Pac-Man. Probably my favorite bar game.
Nice.
So you talked a little bit about Elgin over Scoville. Do you wanna throw? You're like, don't bring any of that up. What?
Come on, dude.
All right, I won't. Well, we're talking about bar games.
Yeah, we go from bar games to politics.
Yeah, politics. Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So what's the funniest thing that happened to you this week in life? Anything funny and like outside the internet?
No.
Is there a world outside the internet for you?
Yes.
Have you been inside like the offices of Facebook and Google and all that stuff? And
Google, yeah, but not Facebook yet.
So did you go to the Seattle office or did you go to their headquarters?
I've been to Mountain View, Seattle, and also on Kirkland's campus as well.
And you wrote some of the slides?
I what?
You went on some of the slides?
I wrote it on some of the slides?
No, yeah, they have slides. At least one of them.
Apparently I missed that one.
You missed the slide?
What? You didn't go down the slide.
Oh, he doesn't like the slide anything at the top, so he doesn't like the slide.
No, I don't think I took any slides.
So is anybody in favor of the sliding thing that to control what's in your mainstream that Chris was not really for?
Chris? What's hot? I'm on a rampage against it lately.
But what about for your circles, not what's hot?
Well, see,
I think they could spend their energy on things that are much more useful than slidey things.
Sliding, yeah.
You know, they got some user interface stuff that they should probably address. The user experience the first day and the first week here is atrocious. They really should do something with that.
Agreed.
It does feel like Google Plus, more than Facebook or anywhere else, has more bugs on a daily basis than anywhere I've ever experienced in the last couple of years anyway. Right? Feels like there's a bug. You hit a bug every week, right? Like it says you cannot post, will not post. You know, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the whole idea of this being in beta and all that was cool for the first 3 months, maybe for 6 months. They need to start tightening it up and make the product flow a little better. I think. I don't know. I mean, they spent $585 million on this thing. Like to see this thing get up and start running.
But see, that's one of the problems when they push something new out every day. It's like, oh, we're gonna change it again. Oh, we changed it again. Oh,
yeah, but that's one of the things
we changed it again.
Kind of likes. I mean, no.
What do you think about the Microsoft parody? There were some real poignant things that they brought up in that were like spot on. I was like, oh man, did you guys see that?
No, Microsoft parody.
Which one? Oh yeah, the Google Docs thingy.
Yeah, the parody for Microsoft. It was really funny because a couple of things they said were just. I was like, ooh.
Yep, they were.
What you eating, Chris?
He's eating beef jerky, right?
What brand? What flavor?
Let's sell it.
Do some sponsor, man. Do some sponsor.
Yeah, give me a sponsor.
It's meat flavor from a package.
Nice.
Did you buy it at a convenience store?
It was convenient.
Did you have an urge to eat that before you put on the flannel shirt, or did the flannel shirt sort of bring that on?
No, it's a Valentine's Day gift.
There you go.
Diana knows my weakness, so that's meat. Yummy.
No comment on the
What's manlier than a flannel shirt and the big jaw of beef jerky?
I agree.
You do realize that Ryan is wearing a flannel shirt too. The three of us. There's three of us now, not just two of us. So.
The whole army.
It's Mardi Gras week after all, so.
There you go.
I thought this was a flannel-only hangout.
Time to exert your veil.
No, it's a fleece hangout.
Well, I let it one of your nomies. I thought that was respectable.
Well, I was dressed up for the NASCAR hangout. That's why I have a collared shirt on tonight.
Oh, how did that go for you? Did you even really get one there? Or?
Yeah, I was in there for a while. Other than that, they had some audio problems because they had a bunch of people that haven't been on Google Plus before, so they had some issues. But it was actually pretty funny. The guys were really engaging. They were having fun. They were laughing, cracking up. It was good. You know what? It could be interesting. We'll see where it lands. We'll see if these guys embrace it and if they use the space. If they use the space and do what we do here and hang out and talk and communicate, they're going to have a win. If they treat it like the other brands have treated it, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and I think more and more pages are going to have Hangouts on there, and that might be interesting, right? I mean, are there any brands like Chris that you often want to see hanging out on air, tech people or Mashable time?
Yeah, but they usually do it anyway.
Yeah, I guess. They did it, there was a period where they were all doing it, and I haven't seen them do it in a while. I remember Mashable, New York Times, maybe USA Today, a few of them were doing it, and now I haven't seen them do much since, that one.
Yeah, Good Morning America.
But wait a minute.
When they tried it, they really weren't prepared. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have any guides, and they were just like, argh.
But wait a minute. Chris had a point earlier in the actual conversation when he was talking about not driving traffic to your website, and that being the big problem with Pinterest, and companies are starting to pull off of Pinterest because they're losing traffic to their website. I don't know why a lot of people would want to put stuff on here that would detract them from monetized content, though.
In this space?
If you're advertising a physical product, I get that, but if you're trying to distribute consumable content, it wouldn't make a lot of sense here.
This is about brand presence. This is about humanizing brands, and I think the more that people engage in this space in a real tangible human way, you can associate yourself with brands or things that you feel passionate or convicted about if you're serious about it, and I think it translates. I mean, I don't know exactly what the ROI is, but I think it's better than Facebook, it's better than Twitter, it's better than other social media platforms that I've seen. And I think social media will continue to evolve. I don't think this is the end-all, be-all. I think this is going to inspire the next one who's going to get a little bit better. Or maybe these guys keep up. I mean, we'll see. But they've moved the sticks, whatever you call it. I don't know.
And the amount of social networks that they're going to... we're going to continue to see a crazy amount of social networks pop up, right? It's not going to Pinterest and Path and whatever you want to call them, or just the beginning, just more... explosion. I've seen a lot of little ones that's trying to pop up, but people don't feel like they don't need social networking. How many social places they need to be social unless they're a brand or a marketing?
Unless it's doing something different or can replace something.
What is out there that we still want to see? That's not. If Google Plus had if it was more of these broadcasts. If they were. These broadcasts are great, but are people going to...
Google Plus would take off if they do two things. If they would fix the circles, which are inherently broken.
Wait, how are they broken?
How are they broken?
How do you fix them, more importantly?
Well, first of all, they're not very intuitive. They're not very self-discovering or intuitive, right? So, Chris, how many followers do you have?
A lot.
Give or take.
A few.
A few, okay.
Couple,
6 digits.
So the problem with the followers that you have is that you have no way of understanding who your audience is.
Right.
Getting who the resonance is, who's listening to you, who's reacting to you. You really are in the dark. You're there with a big lighter going, I know I've got a big audience out there, I just can't see them. I don't know. You can look at rough numbers. So, right now, let's see, hang on a second. So, Chris, you can look at numbers like this. This is the best you can get at looking at
Zeitgeist,
how you're resonating with your audience. And it doesn't tell us anything.
No.
This doesn't tell us about your sentiment. It doesn't tell us where you're landing. This is the best we can do. So we're not getting there yet. Until they get that squared away, until they start giving us some idea about what's going on, this place is going to continue to be tough to get a hold of.
Yep.
The other thing is the new user experience is a tragedy in this space. 62% of people that come in this space have less than 20 followers or following less than 20 people. So they have a very shallow experience. They're ankle deep in the stream, if you will. And when you come in this place, Google should do this. So there's these lists. We have 3,500 circles that are on various spreadsheets, right, that are around. If you're interested in stuff, you can go find them and you can add them. We know how to do that. First day on Google Plus, you don't know how to do that. Google should ask you a simple question. Tell me 3 to 5 things that you're passionate about or interested in. I'm going to give you a list of user-generated circles that said you like horses, you like food, you like wine. Here's circles that people have created that said these people like horses, food, and wine. And we've already gone through them and looked at them and said these people post frequently enough and they have minimum numbers. So here, try these guys. See what you think.
Who's going to go through? Is it an algorithm that goes through the circles like that, or people?
Yeah, real bit.
A lot of it's location-based, too, though, Robert.
Yeah, it could be.
It is. I'll tell you it is.
It depends on the subject. But so you have 3,500 circles right now that I can find in 2 minutes on a list, right? Okay, 3 lists, 3,500 circles. You take those circles, you take all those people, you look at the IDs, and you say, have they posted in the last 30 days? Do they post frequently enough? Do they have a user engagement count that's basically better than suck, right? And if you meet those criteria, then you stay in those circles. And you show up and you say, hey, I'm interested in, pick a subject. Here's a list from these circles that someone's curated, a person's curated, and said they're good. And here's a suggestion. There's ways that they can rotate stuff in. So Google could pick 30% of the people that are on the suggested user list. So those are the people that the community managers pick. They get together. They decide, hey, these people are key. These guys are great. Then they take 30% of that list, and those people are there by virtue of their performance on the list. So they're there by the virtue of their statistical numbers are strong in engagement. And then you've got this set of people that are moving in and out all the time, another 30% that come in and out, people that are rising up, people that are entering the market space, people that are rising in sentiment, people that are running hot on a particular subject or matter that come up frequently. And you can have a rolling suggested user list that gets people introduced to other people that are interested in stuff they're interested in. Right now they have 311 people on the suggested user list in total, and a lot of that is it's not useful to everybody that shows up. There's interesting stuff in there, but you lose a lot of people.
Well, one of the things... Oh, go ahead.
I think when they solve that problem, this space could take off. It could be really, really interesting for everyone that joins.
And related to the keywords you're talking about as well, people that are... Like, if underneath that little list they have now, if there was 3 blank spaces or 5 or whatever, and they ask you, plus mention the 3 people or 5 people in these spaces that you find useful or valuable.
Absolutely.
And they took that from everybody and they correlated maybe it's a separate list. Maybe it's not even keep their little list and separate and say, look, these are people that all gave.
Is there anyone the things that you're passionate about? Is there anyone that you bumped into that you really like that we should consider, that we should throw in the loop and find out if they're resonating with their audience? But you've had a good experience with them. You know, anybody that you like. And what you'll see is people that are genuinely engaging, people like Chris, that are well-liked, will stay on that list and they will continue to build a following. People that show up because they're famous but don't give anything back to the community, don't participate, and treat this like it's push media, they're going to burn out. They're going to be on there for a little while, but their numbers aren't going to hit. When you aren't engaging with your audience, the only thing you're doing is pushing stuff at them and you're playing Pavlov. When you're expecting the reaction that you get in Twitter, or you're expecting the reaction that you get in other flat media like Facebook, you're going to fall off. And that's what it should be. It should be a natural attrition. You either participate in this system in some way, or you're gone. Or you're more encouraged to be more engaging.
Chris, would you like to respond?
I'm spot on.
Spot on.
I mean, there's not much else to necessarily add on top of that.
I sure hope Google's listening right now.
I don't know. I don't even know if they know my show exists. I mean, some of them do, but who knows? Who knows what they listen to or don't listen to? I mean, I know they know who's active, but what does that mean for them? I don't know.
Google's a brilliant company. I mean, those people are so smart. They are so good at what they do, but they're also homogenous. They have such a narrow band of thought. And I understand they're executing products and they got their things going on.
Yeah,
but it's about making money, right?
Google's culture doesn't grok social, so I still don't understand how they're going to do anything social because I don't think they understand it at all. Honestly, they just don't understand it.
They don't get it. They don't get it. They're engineers and salespeople.
Yeah.
Their salespeople are young. I don't think they have any entrepreneurs on staff. I don't think they have people that are out there that are young and hungry and going to get stuff and making stuff happen. They got a lot of, everyone at Google's smart, most of them. But they also don't talk internally. There's a lot of stuff that happens internally that they don't see, that we see better than they do. It's kind of funny. I don't know if you've noticed that.
And I'm saying that about the user.
That's something I noticed in their office in New York, is they spend all day in Hangouts between Mountain View, New York, and Seattle. And it's like they're spending so much time talking to each other, you wonder who really has their ear to the ground on this. You take Natalie Vlablos, she is on the forums all day. She's answering questions. She's got her back turned to this.
She's one person with her crew, with her circle of her view. And I don't think she gets... She's good.
That's not her job, though. Her job is to foster the community on the message board and answer questions there. So who's over here keeping their ear to the ground? I don't think there is anybody.
Well, I think they're short-staffed, too. I mean, they
are.
Again, Google Plus was a...
Well, then they need to hire someone.
They have the money.
Hang on.
They have the resources.
It's not like they're destitute and have no ability to generate revenue, okay? We're not talking about a startup here.
I don't think they're willing to pay enough. I don't think they're willing to pay enough.
But why? They can.
That's the case.
I often use the term book smart versus street smart, and they're book smart, but they just don't get it normally. They don't get what it takes to be social. They don't listen to anybody. They just want to keep going down their own path.
And I don't think it's the community managers.
Companies do.
Yeah, they do. And I don't think it's the community managers. I think community managers want to do a lot of stuff. I think it's the people that are in charge that limit what they can do. I think because I've talked to the community managers, and they love what we're all doing. They want us to be more involved. They want to be more involved. They want more stuff to happen, but they don't have power to do things like that Vic would have, or they don't have that kind of power. So I think that's probably...
They need a Loki and they need a Vincent Wolf. They're missing two things. So they suffer from homogeny. Everyone that works at Google is very bright, very smart. They get great educations, and even though they look different, they're all pretty much the same. They go through the same form, with exceptions. Like Lauren Groves, he's a Loki, so he's a little bit outside of their typical box. But a lot of these guys, they don't see stuff outside of what they're used to. And so they need some crazy people. They need some...
Yeah,
they need a little bit of lunacy in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing, but they won't do it. I mean...
They're afraid of it.
Yeah, you have to have someone on the inside who isn't afraid of getting fired.
Well, what is Louis Gray afraid of getting fired? Is he doing... What, you know him better than we do.
Louis is a very smart person, but you would almost need someone like a Robert Scoble on the inside to really shake things up. Someone who isn't afraid to speak their mind, rather than someone who is a little more sensitive to office politics. So there are two different types of personalities who may understand the same discussion points, dynamics, but completely different personalities. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I find it very difficult when, it's like you expect an Apple employee to carry an iPhone. You expect a Google employee to carry an Android device. You expect a Microsoft employee to carry a Windows Phone 7. It's when you're a Microsoft employee carrying an Android device or an iPhone that you kind of go, why is that? And it's usually counterculture to a corporate culture. And unfortunately, the only way to grow is to invite more of those brackish personalities aboard rather than eschewing them in favor of groupthink.
Hold on here a minute. Are you saying that they need to think outside the box?
No. They need
that accent.
No, what I'm saying is that instead of heading towards and embracing a monoculture, they need to do more to bring people who aren't evangelists into the fold.
When they say, are you thinking outside the box, they need to turn around and say, what box? We don't even see a box. We're not even in.
Well, let me put it this way. There's a lot of things that Google does right, and there are a lot of things that Google does wrong.
Isn't that every company?
This is why a few months ago when the Google developer came out and lambasted Google for their efforts in social, it went like wildfire.
Didn't he just open the office in Siberia?
I don't know what...
Gulag Plus.
Haven't heard from him.
Gulag Plus.
Here's the thing. He should have been elevated, not thrown in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Because and
No,
I don't
because
know
then that'd be a stunt. Then everybody.
But it's a fact that he spoke his mind. That's social. Social isn't going along with what everybody else is saying. That is social. Yes. It's called peer pressure. And unfortunately, social media, for it to work, doesn't work that way.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, and the funny thing is, in this space, people talk about the trolls and how dangerous they are and this and that. I'm like, no, you have to embrace the wolf pack because they will tell you whether you're getting off base. And if you're cool with them, if you can break bread with them and if they're not eating you alive, then you're staying within the bounds of what works because these guys will be the first ones to say, doesn't work. Cadbury was the perfect example of what happened yesterday.
Yeah, but I saw the Cadbury thing, but is the Cadbury thing really like, it's the Cadbury brand? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wish that Google would embrace brands that are smaller and instead of like the ones they have relationships with, and that hasn't happened yet. And maybe
brands have to learn how to embrace social. Okay?
Wait, hang on. Catch me up. I caught some little kerfuffle around it, but
Robert, you can go over it with the Cadbury bar and the.
All right, so Cadbury, they did this thing a while back, and they did, if you share this stuff, we'll send you a candy bar. Well, guess who won?
What do I need to share?
So he got a candy bar as big as his keyboard.
Cool. I'm down.
Yeah. And so then they did it again. But when they did it this time, Cam Meadows saw it first thing in the morning, so he pushed it out. But Dan Soto decided to chalk block Cam Meadows, so he got a hold of Cadbury and said, you can't run contests inside of Google+. And they went,
really?
Oh, we didn't read the term. Oh, yeah, you can read the terms of service. You can't run a contest in Google+.
Giveaways, yeah.
So Cadbury, one of Google's stars, right? So they're in the suggested follow list and all this stuff.
Yeah.
They decided that Cam won, but he couldn't get a chocolate bar. Oh my God. Then it was on.
Oh,
Tell the kids, if you share their stuff, you're going to win a special prize, and then tell them they don't get chocolate because they lose their minds. So then it turned into, so then Cam says, what should I do? So I said, well, why don't you show them the power of social? I shouldn't have said that because that was trouble. So then Thanavan gets a hold of it and says, you don't F with my friends, and goes, block Cadbury, and starts this big...
Wait, who said that?
John Thanavan from Australia. Maybe
John,
Troll.
You probably know him.
He's the union leader of the trolls.
He's a lawyer, or a lawyer.
He's a barrister.
He's an Australian barrister who likes tearing people apart for lunch. And so he's there but he's also finding the edges of the space. So he's like, he's like one of the wolves. He's one of those people that find the edges of what's going on. And
but at least Cadbury's here, and they're making an effort.
So they started a Block Cadbury campaign that set off this wildfire panic. Of course, Google's freaking out because they're thinking, oh my God, brands are going to run away from this space. But what they have to realize is a brand can't come in here and play your old push media Pavlov stuff, right? Share my stuff, I'll send you a candy bar, right? Sure, you're going to send us candy.
That's what they do on Facebook, right?
I guess I didn't even know that you couldn't run a contest inside of Google+. Not that I had.
Oh, no,
you just can't put a page.
Can't. We can. But
the contest has to be like on a website or like on a blog.
Yeah, it was like, well, so what's his name from the lobster thingy in Austin? What's his name? Whatever that is.
Thingy in Austin.
He gave away the Angry Lobster. What's the show with the cute girl and the guy? And
Callie and John.
Yeah, Callie. Yeah. So anyway,
what happened? That was bad?
A few months back, he gave away a Kindle. He said, I've got this extra Kindle. Whoever shares my stuff
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He's running a contest, so he got 3,000 ads in a day.
Yeah.
To prove that for $100 or whatever Kindle costs, that you can get 3,000. So he was sort of monetizing the idea of what can you, here, I'll give you this, what do I get back for it kind of thing. But he was running a contest, so he actually breached the terms of service. But he got away with it.
But was that his brand page, or was that his normal?
Well, it's like speeding tickets.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Sorry, I think Google has more problems with people not wanting to run contests than they do people running contests.
Well, so Google's terms of service says that if you're a brand in this space, or you're a business, or a person, or whatever it is, I haven't read the whole
It's just page. It's just page.
Okay.
If that guy had done it from his personal account, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
but
just going to
Google's not
blame
policing.
Dan Soto because he started the whole thing.
But I don't think Google cares about it. It's in the terms of service.
Blocked Cam Meadows. That's what started.
How many things are in the terms of service that we do anyway, and we violate, and Google doesn't seem to care about? So, Elizabeth pointed out, it's kind of like the laws of the land.
Well, and
how many laws are broken?
Is that enforcement is somewhat arbitrary, and so we're all running around going, well, what can we do or what can't we do, and we'll get spanked sometimes when we won't. But
yeah, but it's the same thing that Pinterest is running into. You know, you've got users posting images they're not licensed to post. Google's got the same problem, or potentially can have the same problem as soon as it generates a lion's share of attention. Right now,
which is why they haven't dumped the on-air to everyone. Yeah. They're doing it carefully to find out, who can be responsible. They're trying to. I mean, they're doing that the right way, I think.
Yeah, but when is it going to be the right time to give it to everybody?
I don't think it ever will be.
I don't think we'll get flying cars. We never get flying cars.
It's too big of a target. Too big of a target.
It is.
Way too big of a target.
Because you know what's going to happen is someone's going to watch an NFL game or someone's going to watch a NASCAR thing and they're going to stream it in their stream and it's going to be a mess.
Well, it's like with YouTube before they got their whole copyright system in place. Viacom sued them for who knows how much money because there was all this copyrighted material and there still is, but they finally get that copyright system in place to take care of that. But here with Google Plus, if they open it up, the Hangout on air to everybody, there would be no way to control that, and it would just be chaos.
They will see themselves up.
Dogs and cats living together.
So more importantly, you all like Return of the Jedi over Revenge of the Sith, right? That's more.
Yeah.
I like Return of the Jedi over Empire Strikes Back, but I'm
no.
So.
He's like, because it ends so sadly. Anyway.
The only thing I didn't like about the Hangout with the NASCAR guys today was that when one of the guys asked them whether they liked Days of Thunder or what was the one with Ricky Bobby?
Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights. They all picked Days of Thunder. I'm like, really? Come on.
Better movie.
Is that the correct answer?
No, they all it must be. I'm like, come on, Ricky Bobby. Because I was going to ask Carl Evers. I was going to say, who do you think's the most? Who's the most important NASCAR driver ever, Ricky Bobby or Richard Petty? Of course he'd say Richard Petty, but if you ask people which one do you know, everybody knows Ricky Bobby.
Right. Well, maybe they're just saying Days of Thunder was more realistic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone said Smoking the Bandit. I don't know, but yeah.
Classic.
I mean, it's just an opinion. At least they answer the question. They could have said that. We don't answer it.
Yeah.
Those guys actually had a lot of fun today. Other than a couple sound issues they had a lot of fun. They were laughing. I asked Greg Biffle, I said, how is it no matter where the camera is, every time you take a sip of your Coke or whatever it is, you always get the label facing the camera? And he said, actually, the PR person hands it to me with the label facing the right direction. So then they all started, and they're all sitting there drinking their Gatorades and stuff in the Hangout. It was really funny. But those guys are masters of product placement. It was really, and so then Greg Biffle picks up this 6-foot-tall Coke bottle that they have that was a blow-up, and he's taking a drink out of it in the Hangout. It was charming. Good guys. It'll be fun. It will be fun to see people like that come in this space and be real. John Stiles, basketball player for Four Rings. He's in here now. Some pretty cool people that have hung out.
Yeah, there's a Detroit Lions player.
Oh, Chris Harris.
Harris, yeah.
I hung out with him for the AFC playoffs. That was cool because we were all watching on the screen. We had the sound muted, so we weren't playing it through the Hangout. But he was doing play-by-play. Like when Webb caught a pass and was doing it, he'd go through and tell us what happened and everything. And it was an entirely different experience.
And technically, there could be some copyright with description, but yeah. I mean, it depends on how. Right. No, but it depends on how anal you are, right?
We weren't looking at. We were looking at the screen, but the screen wasn't being transmitted in there. He was giving commentary on what was happening. I think it was okay there, right?
Yeah, I think, but that's what I'm saying. I think it is lax. I think a lot of these things, like the cab rate, I think that's my point, is that there were rules, but to what extent?
Fast and loose.
Right.
Chris, I have a question for you. Where do you see this going? Where do you see Google Plus landing? Is it going to? I mean, they're saying there's going to be 500 million by the end of the year. There's 1 million businesses. There's going to be 5 million by the end of the year. Is this thing going to catch and take fire, or is it going to flounder?
Yeah, not until they have more. Not until they're able to push more traffic. And despite their efforts, they won't. Because you can't.
When you say traffic, what do you mean by traffic?
Traffic, clicks, views.
But Chris, isn't this us geeks that push innovation? And I was talking with Matt Ryan about this yesterday. Everyone follows the geeks. They follow what we do. I mean, you went with the internet. I mean, but first it was bulletin boards, then it became the internet, and it just keeps growing and growing. The geeks seem to have embraced Google Plus or over Facebook, and I think that's going to make that company make it better. Don't you agree with
But
that?
Stacy, they're already on Facebook. They don't need to come over here. In their minds, they've got their social.
They got rid of us, so they're pretty happy too.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if they got rid of us. I mean, I'm still on Facebook. Facebook hasn't provided enough of a pain point. I'll go back with Google Plus is not yet solving a problem that needs solved.
There's nothing new.
There's nothing. I mean, it's interesting. It's fun. It's a good idea to be involved in. But Google needs to do more to make it an essential tool in our stable. And unfortunately, it's more like Blogger than it is like Facebook.
Facebook.
And I mentioned this in the earlier hangout with Matthew. The issue is that unless you're paying people to produce content in your channel, they're not going to do it. They're going to do it in their own channels. So Google's got to make some pretty hard decisions, really, about how they're going to treat Google Plus in the way that they're building it right now. And like I said, it is more like Blogger than it is Facebook. It's more like YouTube than it is Facebook.
It's like a YouTube version of Blogger or something, like Blogger with...
It has a potential, yeah. It has a potential to be like that.
But I think they could fix it. And the difference in Google Plus is that LinkedIn, you go for business. Facebook, you go to meet people you know. Twitter, you go because you're narcissistic, whatever the reason for that is.
Feels like Google Plus is narcissistic lately. But yeah.
At a different level. But Google Plus is about passion. Google Plus is about sharing passion. It's about finding people that have the same passion that you do.
Well, it's yes and no. What it is, in a bigger sense, is Google's way of combating search spam. So, with Google Plus Your World, you have anybody you've circled will, if you're signed in, influence your organic results.
Huge.
Right now,
I've seen the difference. It's crazy.
It's huge. So now, instead of searching, and getting the same results, even in the same city, same results as somebody else, you would have more personalized results based on who you've circled, making it more important for you to cultivate trust in the people that you circle versus just circling everybody. And you think, well, couldn't the spammers do that? I'm like, yeah, but the spammers would only be hurting themselves, not anybody else. And this is the closest thing Google's going to have to solving the search spam problem. The bigger challenge, then, falls back on publishers to make sure that their content is share-worthy and that it is getting shared. So even if I add 3 times the amount of followers, it would still mean nothing if that content wasn't valuable to the people who happen to be following me.
Yep.
So you guys, I hear you guys digging into all this technical jargon and whatnot of why Google Plus is better than this, blah, blah, blah. I mean, simple to me, the reason why I like it is I don't see Chris telling me he wants me to go do something to his freaking farm, okay? And then spam and game spam. That's what I enjoy about Google.
That it's
yeah, but then you see somebody else saying, go share my post, share, +1, +1.
But you don't have to get a notification. Well, some people get notification in spam.
It's a different kind of game. It's a game with people, not pixels.
I thought people wanted to see my Speedo pictures, so...
Oh, I saved those to my hard drive. So
I love your new hair. What was the inspiration there, Mr. Stinger? No Muppet hat anymore.
Spam is what Twitter's for. I mean, the Nomies, we connect to Chris's, everything he does, the Nomies auto-spam it. I mean, come on, we're all over Twitter. We connect, and everything he does, it's automatically out there. I hardly go to Twitter.
Come in here and talk.
Are you a salesman?
You're a paid product person.
So, hey, I have an idea, though.
No is the answer, by the way.
No, me.
Yeah.
Robert Anderson pointed something out really poignant in a post. Robert, I guess you did this about 3 or 4 weeks ago, where you took a bunch of people and you put them head-to-head based on interactivity. So right now, the way people find people is not based on interactivity, it's based on the number of people they have. Well, the number of people that know Britney Spears is irrelevant. I mean, why can't everything Google does with the algorithm seems to work? So, why can't they just put people against, how viral their content is in terms of the statistics that you were showing for Chris? Here's
the point, and so here's the thing that Google could solve, but they don't seem to be, they haven't done it yet. I don't know what that means. If they can connect people that have similar passions, and again, I think this comes back to improving the user experience in the first day or the first week, and it comes back to what Chris said, that if you want good content, you've got to get people engaged in things that they're interested in, and it gets rid of that spam stuff. And they're solving some problems, but I think they're leaving some other ones out there that could be really useful.
But do people use even how people use Facebook? I mean, I would start with examining Facebook is a popular site, right? And people are using it, but how are they using it? Most people aren't really even using Facebook to a degree.
It's not just a site. It's the destination. And when you're on Facebook, you're in Facebook, and that's it. There is no internet.
That's your internet. That's your world, yeah.
And Google has always been that. This is the reason why they got in trouble with the government, or the U.S. government specifically. Google has typically been the destination where you can go to find other destinations. Google's job was to get you from point A to point B and then forget about you. Well, over time, Google's business model has been leaning more towards we have to create more services so that people use Google. Whether they're editing documents, collaborating here, doing this, doing that, doing the other thing, and so part of that now, that comes down from the top down, is the mantra of social. The bigger challenge is I cannot think of one high-level person at Google who groks social inherently. They just don't get it. And so you can't build a product. Right. You cannot build a product on a concept that is foreign to the people who are developing the product.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can tell by some of the big wigs.
Let's play a little segment we do over on the other show we do. Fix it or you're fired. Chris Pirillo, you're in charge of Google. What do you do?
Oh my God! Congratulations, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I start taking money from people to get them promoted. I think monetization is core to the ongoing success of Google+. I'd start paying content publishers.
Yeah, but are you going to slap it full of ads like Facebook
Nope.
is?
Well, I wouldn't say Facebook slapped it full of ads. I think they've done a very good job at balancing the information that people are sharing with advertising. I'd outlined actually a long time ago on Google+, ideas that I had in terms of what Google can do to monetize it. But to me, Blogger monetized the incorrect way. YouTube monetized a slightly better but not perfect way. They have a chance to make it work within Google+. What's going to drive the most amount of attention is content that's worth sharing. And you're not going to have that in an environment where why would I share content in a place that I'm generating nothing when I can share it just as easily in another place and generate more? I mean, it's a battle of economies. So, they have to address that point, I believe, in order to help people over that hurdle or make them realize that there is some value in being engaged on Google+. At this point, it's just a gamble. At this point, it's just a guess.
What about taking AdSense to the next level and making it FriendSense? So basically putting everyone together that shares the same sites and same values. Couldn't they take it that way?
I think Facebook proved that model doesn't work, didn't they? Didn't somebody, or maybe it was Harvard, figured out that just because your friend bought it doesn't mean you're going to. Chris?
Yeah, I definitely do not buy things that my friends buy.
Yeah, Robert Pitt, sorry, in the audience says, in order for Google to get social right, they need to get rid of the corporate crap.
Yeah, they need to hire more social people. And I'm sorry, but Lewis has got to pull out all the stops. No, they won't.
Well, Lewis is the only one that I know of that is somewhat social, right?
He gets social, but he's not. You got to be bold, dude. He's got
a mortgage. He's got kids. He's got things he's got to pay for. He's not going to stand up and say you guys are absolutely full of shit.
So the product will not get better unless someone comes out and say, "Look, Android ain't ready for prime time, dude." Period. It's getting there, but it ain't there right now. And until you accept that as a gospel truth, then
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is I need somebody to stand up and say that. I wouldn't buy it. I'm not doing it.
They'll never hire anybody to do that. Who would? They got shareholders. Why would you come out and say your product sucks? Why would you hire someone and pay someone to tell you that your product sucks? Even if it does.
Because those Lokis and those people who are willing to step out and say that make you better. They make you leaner, they make you smarter because they are willing to tell the truth. But they've got to be able to tell the truth without consequences.
Yeah, but they don't want to hear the truth. That's the thing.
You're preaching to the choir. That's the reason.
And that's why they lost Paul Adams, who left and went to Facebook. He was a guy that was crafting the stuff on circles, and he couldn't get along with the engineers at Google because they wouldn't listen. Now, this guy's Irish, right? So he's talking about how people relate to one another, which is beautiful because he's from Ireland. And he left and went to Facebook because he couldn't get an audience in this space that got it. He is the guy that, as far as I know, I don't know if he invented circles, but he's the guy that did a presentation on that I saw online, so he must have invented it.
I mean, there's a million things. There's a million things. We all have ideas. We all have a million ways to make this place better. We give feedback. We give everything, but it's not the same as somebody being at a meeting, being in the meeting, saying this is real, like actually throwing it in their faces, like in person.
But you got to keep this in perspective too. Unfortunately, we think a lot of ourselves because we're human beings. But when you consider that Google Plus spent $585 million to build this toy, right? $585 million represents less than 1 week of gross revenue that Google makes. They make about $100 million a day. They have 32,800 and something employees. Every employee represents $375 an hour in revenue that they
love how it's in your head. That's awesome, by the way.
But just stuff. So Google Plus financially is an interesting thing to them, but at the other side of it, their larger business model that's been incredibly successful, that's 10 times larger than Facebook, is starting to decay and fail. It's starting to shift and change. And I don't know what that means. Maybe Chris has a better idea and better view of it because he pays attention to this crap. I don't. But so they've got to find a way ahead. And this thing, Google Plus, stuck. I don't think they expected it. I think they thought it was going to be it was going to be a wave. It started as a wave or a buzz or whatever, and it stuck. People got it, people liked it, people flocked there, and they went, oh crap, now we got to do something.
No. I think it was more like, let's roll the dice and hope this works.
Well, I was told that nobody wanted to work on the project originally. Like no one was enthused about being on this project until it took off, and then they're like, oh, now what do we do?
Shocker. Again, they have no one who understands social.
Yep.
And that's the big point. That's the basic. And until they do, it's not going to change, right? Is that the bottom line?
So Google Plus is turning into a homeowners association. We're all sitting around bitching like we're down in Florida and in retirement.
Boca.
Exactly.
Hey, get off my lawn!
I'm paying my condo fees.
I'm in the pool house.
All over this place. Anyway, so
but we're enjoying it mostly.
But
and
Chris,
that's why we're all here.
So you want to go hire some social people? Where do you find them? How do you entice them? What do you do?
Well, they brought Lewis in.
That was it.
But they brought Lewis in because he believed he drinks from Google's pond.
He drinks the Kool-Aid.
He doesn't tell Google necessarily outright what they need to do.
He's had to say something, no?
You know,
I don't see him saying anything.
Not even one thing?
No.
Don't they want his brain?
I'm very glad that Lewis is at Google. The problem is they need someone with a different personality, and I don't know if they're necessarily going to understand why they need to hire someone like that. And you have to shake things up if you want to get attention and you want to change the game. And there just are very few people who would do that and be willing to do that. I mean, it's very nerve-wracking, and it's very precarious. And
well, so
then why don't they do a, sort of a king for the year kind of thing, a Vincent Wolf, or do a butterfly fellow? Do people that come in that are next to it, can see it, can do it, have handcuffs on about sharing or leaving with it, but are in there to be honest, to say what they mean, be there for a period of time, and then you're gone.
But think about it, though. That person that comes in, like Chris said, is going to have all this responsibility, and is going to have to tell these people who have built this that know you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
What you need to do.
I'll straight up tell them I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but they're all going to go off doing their own thing.Ey're not going to listen. No, they take feedback daily.
They will if you know how to inspire people. So if you know how to lead people, if you know how to inspire people, or know how to help them understand what's working and what isn't, and you have easy indicators. It's easy. You got math. They love math, right? 62% of the people that join Google Plus have 20 followers, and they're following less than 20 people. Friends, that's broken.
Yeah.
Start there, address that.
It's like a parent, though. You see people with their kids, and you're like, you're not raising your kid right. I could do that better. The parent doesn't want to hear that. They're going to go on and raise that kid, feed them ice cream 24/7, make them fat, make them stupid, put them in front of the TV. We all know it's wrong, but they're going to keep doing it, and it's going to just incense us more. Nobody can just step in.
So you're saying Google's raising fat kids, and the fat kids are their products, and those products are getting dumber.
Exactly.
That's a pretty good analogy.
Yeah, it pretty much is, and they just get stagnant, and they just keep rolling, and then when it gets to a point, they're like, oh, hey, Google Plus, we're getting rid of that next month. Since I've been here.
And that's the funny thing about that parody is that with the Microsoft thing, you went, yeah, what happens if P.O. Delson got kicked off the internet last night, so they took away his Google Plus account, or it failed, or whatever.
What? They did?
Well, it was like 24 hours. He couldn't do anything. His account disappeared.
Lori had that too. That's interesting.
Yeah, Lori. Well, and there were rumors that there was behavior things, or I don't know. Who knows? But maybe it was just a glitch in the Matrix. Who the hell knows? But I talked to P.O. tonight, and he was talking about, he goes, there's a profound sense of panic in your life when you spend 7 hours a day at something, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I'd be cool, but I haven't bothered to put anyone's phone number or contact information in any other database other than here. So if this went away, if I don't know you on Facebook, I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah, I sure hope no one gets through the two-factor authentication on my account, because if they do, then they have free reign.
So do you think, that Google Plus or Google needs to hire people that are at the offices and they are like us, they use the product non-stop and they stop to give emails and feedback and meetings, or do you think that wouldn't work? Do you think they need to hire more users or more people?
No, they need to fly our ass to Hawaii, get us drunk, have us say everything we can possibly think of, and sit there and record everything, write it down, go back and distill it and say, okay, well, all right, this is, or just listen to this. They can get the same information.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's all free.
So, Robert, the data mining you did shows something. It shows that there is a core number of people here that know what the fuck they're doing.
I think Google knows too.
As with anything,
Google has access to this stuff. I think they can see it, but they don't have their priorities there because they're thinking about something else, and what they're thinking about seems to be.
But if they keep admitting that they don't have the right people or they don't have enough people, what's holding them back? I mean, is there really, like I suggested to Chris, a hesitation that, yeah, we'd love to get these people to work for us, but they're not going to fit in the pay grade that we would have for that type of job?
Because
you don't know for a fact, dude. You don't know.
Here's the thing. When you have 32,000 employees that are working on minutia detail for everything that exists in this space, right? So everything from the shadow that's underneath the film strip down here, right, to the placement happened in a meeting, happened under great consideration. Everything around us was crafted for reasons, right? And some of those reasons are good, and some of those reasons are bad, and it's so much stuff that happens. We can sit here and say, okay, we have the final experience, and this is what we don't like. Here's our punch list. Bada, 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 bada. This is the worst. I mean, these guys have put so much into this, and it's difficult, right? So theoretically, I could fix on a whiteboard in about 15 minutes the user experience in the first week in Google+. I can tell you what the problem is. If I was Robert Pitt, I could sit down and Mohammed Mansour, if I could ever get those two guys to actually talk to each other, we could probably fix a solution in about a week with 2 engineers, 2 people coding. We could fix it in a week. At Google, it's a major project, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't move this huge corporation the same way that you can an agile group of people. They don't function as an agile group. Chris, am I wrong? Right? Crazy?
No,
what?
well, you're absolutely right. It's a big ship to steer.
Yep.
And even the people who might get it may not be in the position of power to be able to get what they need to get done, because they're going to be hitting hurdles at one point or another. It's politics.
I'm working on an accessibility project right now for the blind. And I'm working with a guy right now that's getting into Google+. He's blind. He's using a JAWS reader to see the screen. And we're going through the problems that he's running into. We're going back and seeing if we can either do a fix in Chrome or what we can write up for Google to say, here's the problems that we're bumping into. So this space is more accessible to blind. Right now, Facebook's absolutely inaccessible to blind people. You can't get in. Forget it. This space is much better, but it's still not there. So that's a project I'm working on the side. You couldn't take it to Google and say, fix this, because it's just, it goes against so many things. There's a whole group that works on Hangouts. There's a group that works on users. I don't even know how many groups are. I haven't seen their org chart, but I would guess it's massive. Has anyone seen that? Anybody know what it looks like?
It's probably big.
Chris, any ideas on how big the teams are that work on this stuff?
No idea.
I don't think they're that big.
People, they must be doing something, right?
They're not big. They're focusing on making money. That's the problem.
The teams are
all their staff works on selling, making money, selling ads. So the question is, they have this great space where they could do that and solicit money from people that want to promote their posts. I mean, I don't know if you guys have a blog, but I'm looking at a left sidebar and a right sidebar that are completely freaking empty. It seems like a waste of space to me.
Oh, I deleted my blog, and I'm only on Google Plus now. That's what I was told to do, right?
Well, that's what Mike Elgin said, but then if you AdSense to your blog, you're missing out on all that money.
You're upset we're not getting ads pushed at us in the sidebar here? I'm kind of happy that it's not here. I like it.
But when the ads do, I mean, like, do you really, like Chris was saying, you don't have to be whitelisted for, like, if you had your AdSense in here. I mean, I don't know, just, like, if people like you, they're going to click on ads, and that's going to screw things up for them, right?
I tell the truth too much to ever be whitelisted.
Yeah.
Or I voice my opinion. I don't know if it's true.
I mean, AdSense is pretty strict, right? So, like, people are going to start clicking away because they like you. That's not going to work, right?
Well, yeah, no, they can filter that out, though. They don't block your account because somebody clicks it too much. They just, those don't count anymore.
Chris, how do you make money on the internet?
A lot of ways.
Advertising, sponsorship, or selling services.
And his own advice, too.
Yeah.
And which one works the best?
They're all equal.
But that's the thing, Chris. You couldn't survive on just one of those, could you?
I could. To do what I'm doing now, no.
Right.
You know, to take this to an entirely other geeky level, I've played World of Warcraft for the last 7 years. I've played since launch. It's the same thing as Google+. Same thing goes on. You see the same people, you know, saying, why can't you fix this? Why can't you change this? Why can't you do this? There are different teams on different aspects of the game. And
so it's the evolution of social media. Tell us what's coming. Tell us what's coming in Google Plus based on your experience in World of Warcraft. Where does it evolve?
Yeah. Are we gonna have access?
Well, I'll tell you this. World of Warcraft is really at a stagnant point. They're pushing the same content out over and over, and they're losing customers. They've lost 10 million subs in the last few months.
They lost me. You're right. They just rehashed.
It's not a fad though, World of Warcraft.
No, I mean, I've played for 7 years. It's managed to hook me for 7 years, and I keep.
And what do you pay a month for that?
I pay $150 a year to play. I save money by buying it in a 6-month.
How much is it a month though? Normally?
$15. It's normally $15.99 a month, so I save like $2 by buying.
What would you guys do to play in Google Plus?
Well, one of the things that Warcraft did do is they started monetizing in-game cosmetic things that don't change the way you play the game, but they'll give you like a pet for like $10 or $25. You get something you can ride around on.
Badges.
Yeah, exactly. Visual things that set you apart that say, "Oh, he spent money on this." And
what would you pay? What would you pay to be verified on Google Plus?
Yeah, exactly. Hell, you know what?
Oh, I'd throw down a couple $100 easy.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
But why would you need to be verified? Honestly,
because you got it for free, Chris.
No, but dude, I'm still not verified on Twitter. It has not gained or lost me anybody.
No, but it's cool. You got that check mark. You're legit. You're
but somebody said it was cool.
But the moment
you got Air Jordans when no one else could.
The moment you pay for it, it loses value.
Yeah, I'll pay.
You pay for a status symbol And that's the only barrier right now being verified, because nobody else can get verified. There's a value to it. If you open up to everybody, it's like getting a limo. Oh, someone spent $100. That's what it means. It doesn't mean that they're famous. It just means that they spent $100.
It's a status.
So, it's a
But
status.
isn't it like VeriSign, though? Like VeriSign, the same concept. If you put it out that
and
way.
that opens doors to other content and other kinds of interaction and other kinds of...
Trust me, if they wanted me to spend $250 to be on the suggested user list, I would do it in a heartbeat. The amount
you would get so much spam. You would get so many users that don't even know.
Dude, who cares, Matt?
You know what I
Filter out
would
the
do
noise.
then? Do you know what I would do then? I would just sit back and every day I'd make a post for my Etsy shop. I would say, screw this. I'm not going to post any more content. I've got 400,000 followers following me. Here's a link to my shop. And just watch the money roll in.
How many people do you watch the money roll in? What if they don't know you? You really, no one's looking. Who's buying your stuff?
Dude, who cares? It's 400,000 people. The law of averages is going to have somebody buying that crap.
No.
I wish Daria was in here so we could ask her.
I disagree. I think there's a value in creating something that's worth looking at, not just accruing the most amount of numbers. You're devaluing social at that point. You're devaluing social.
Look at your model, Chris. Look at your model. Chris gives out all this content all the time for free. And he offers to another group of people more access to Chris, more access to his knowledge. So he's not saying cutting you off, but he's saying, here's what I give you, but if you want more, pay for the subscription.
I've known the same thing for years. I'm a webcomic guy. I know tons of webcomic guys from 10, 11 years ago, and basically I came into it about the same time people said, hey, we're going to do this plan where normally you could go on the website and see all this art, all these comics for free, but you know what? For $5 a month, we're going to give you more stuff. And I have 3 or 4 buddies that they make their life off of just drawing and posting stuff, and these people sign up through PayPal and give because they're given more.
But that's more finding your 1,000 true fans than it is going for the larger amount of numbers. I know the law of averages, fine, but you're not going to engender anything worth talking about if...
I don't care about talking. I just want people to buy my crap. I don't care about talking. I'm an artist. I'm a visual media. What am I going to do? Come on and go, hey, I drew this poster for Google+, and I got inspired because I was eating a candy bar and walking through the park. No, I'm going to put up the picture, and then people are going to go, that's cool, where can I get that? And I just say, go there.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan's laughing his ass off over here because he's like, yes, CD sales, tell me more.
Yeah, right? It's like, I would love to sell my Google Music.
And this is what I want to do. I just start, I kind of don't like Kickstarter, but I kind of do like Kickstarter, and I'm thinking about putting out a book of my posters and starting a Kickstarter. And by putting this book out, I want to give people a little more. I'm going to write about what the inspiration was for each poster and what goes into it and a little behind the scenes to give people that little oomph rather than just buying a piece of paper. So it is giving them more, but, if I had 400,000 people following me, and 10,000
there's no guarantee, though.
Bought my
book. Dude. Okay, hang on. So, speaking as someone who is circled by allegedly 733,000 people, I still, in terms of my engagement, the only people who engage me on a regular basis are those true fans. The people who tune in to watch and who listen. It isn't the majority. It's an extreme minority. Numbers are irrelevant.
I can show you my Etsy timeline of when I was shared by different sites online. Shared by Design Milk, Spike. Shared by Geeks Are Sexy, Spike.
Targeted.
Yeah, no. Mashable shared my stuff. Design Milk shared my stuff.
In what context did Mashable share your stuff?
My Google Plus poster was one of their top 10 Google things you should have for the 13th anniversary.
Okay, so it was targeted.
Even still, they post my images. I get posted somewhere. I see a spike in, So what's to say if I get 400,000 people here and I put one link up, it's not going to generate me tons of sales? Because that's what's happened. My Etsy thing, boom, boom, boom. I can see it spike every time I'm featured in someplace else or some other site. my traffic goes up and I get more sales.
I think what the difference is like with what Chris does, he has to engage these people on a one-on-one basis. So when he's offering this stuff for free, I mean, he's never going to get any sleep. With yours, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's more of a product you want to present. They're not going to be talking to you all day long about it.
You're right, Stacy. The product sits here next to me, and then I can be asleep and wake up and have 2 sales.
Well, you'd be better off than buying Google AdWords and spending money on advertising your product than you would trying to get 400,000 people following you, especially if you offer $250 to Google to get in a suggested list. What's stopping everybody else from doing it? At which point it becomes devalued.
Oh, it becomes devalued, but I'm still getting 400,000 people that are seeing me. And
But
are they seeing you?
They're not seeing you.
They're not seeing you. They're clicking at all.
Yeah.
And then they're either never coming back or...
But out of 400,000, let's say, what percentage do you think would actually take the time to look at my profile?
20, 10, 15, 10,000, 15,
okay,
not even.
Let's say 10,000, and I sell a poster for $8.50, and I get those 10,000 people to buy a poster.
Not all 10,000. They're all looking. Maybe
They're all looking.
If you get 100 people, that'd be good.
Even if you get 100. That's still $8,500 in my pocket that I wouldn't have had before, and I've spent $250.
Right.
Now, this is all hypothetical, though. We don't know. We can't control numbers. In some sense, I started this thing and had 1,000 followers. And I made more sales when I had 1,000, 2,000 followers because basically this is the platform to get me out there. I post something now, I got close to 17. I can't get a bite off anything. You know, I've got my loyal people.
Because there's more people here.
There's more things to pay attention to. It spreads attention. Content publishers run into the same problem.
5,000 cuts. Everyone's watching, but your audience just went to 10 people, but there's 1,000 people producing content.
Hey, Peter put up a thread, and Jacob Chappelle said, "What do we contribute in the way of ideas of how to improve it?" That's what we should be talking about. How to improve.
We've gone over that, but
we've got over
people in that
social user experience.
But what can we do besides
circles?
Right.
But
what about the idea?
Is that what you're saying? What can we do now?
Well, we could just suggest. But there's a lot of people out there that see Google Plus as a hindrance. A lot of people don't. There are people that don't like a lot of the stuff, invading their Gmail, invading their search, and I mean.
Okay, I'll give you my 2-minute rant. You want it?
Make it 90 seconds.
Okay, you're on the clock. You got a minute and a half.
By the way, Ryan, if you sell just 2 CDs this year in Google Plus, you'll make more money than TLC ever did.
Hey, I've given away more than I'll ever make.
Oh, that's not true.
No, I'm serious.
The most extraordinary, if not the most interesting telecommunications device since the telephone is what we're in right now, a Hangout. It's how people can connect and connect face-to-face, and that's incredibly important. It hasn't happened since we sat around a campfire. It certainly hasn't happened across cultures, across interests, and brought people together in this way. This is the first time in human history that we've been able to connect in this way. What's extraordinary about Google Plus is that there's 90 million users today. There's going to be 500 million later, and we know a lot of them are asleep, and that's okay. But we have an extraordinary way to connect. That's what's changed about this space. Now, the fact that we can execute HTML5 inside of a Hangout means that we can do anything that we can do on the internet, we can do here face-to-face. A friend of mine, Mia DiGiovanni, who I used to hang out with when I played polo in Menlo Park near San Francisco, she had a company called Smooth Sail back in 2000, failed .com bubble, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Her idea was that you put a buyer and a seller together in a chat format so that they could communicate, and that communication would facilitate a sale. It was too soon for its time. It didn't happen. It failed because that chat conversation wasn't rich enough. Today, if you can bring people together that have solutions and problems, and you can put them together face-to-face, and you can figure out how to do that in a way that, hey, I've got a problem, I'm looking for a solution, hey, I've got a solution, here's this, that, and the other, and we can meet and talk about it, and we can exchange things together in this space, you've just changed so many things around the world. This is an economic engine. This is a phenomenal economic engine. There's so much opportunity and possibility here that hasn't even been touched on. We're sitting around bitching about, we can't do this, we can't do that, we should do this. This is incredible. I don't think Google gets it. I don't think they understand it to depth. They haven't supported the API guys API guys aren't even looking at this because right now the API is it's not
a joke.
It's not even here yet.
It's a joke.
If it ever gets here, if they ever get it right, if they ever deliver it, if they ever stop saying, "Hey, we're in beta," which is what Microsoft's making fun of, if they ever actually become a platform, exactly this rant this guy from Amazon who came over to Google was talking about, this place could be amazing.
Hey, just to pause you for a second, Mr. Horowitz is watching, and he said, "Wow, loving this." That's what Bradley said.
Bradley probably got tagged in Peter's post about what we were talking about. And I was
Hey, Bradley.
Louis Gray was a great start, but you need to start bringing more people who aren't afraid to speak their mind in.
Like us, we're all speaking our mind, you know?
Yeah, but we never make it at Google. The internal politics will keep us alive.
Would they?
Yeah.
Try us.
Crush our souls. Yeah, trust me.
There are a lot of kids younger than us working
But
there.
here's the thing. I drive a fair amount of revenue using Google services. And whether it's YouTube, Google AdSense that's running on my own domains. I mean, but that doesn't mean that it just by turning a feature on a website doesn't mean that it's going to work. And I think Google has faced this over and over again. You might remember Friend Connect, like it was a few years ago, and I think there are even bits and pieces that still exist. Having the feature means nothing if you can't make the connection to the people and what the people are going to do with it.
So the first thing is, just because you think it's a good idea doesn't mean anyone else does. I learned that one the hard way. The second thing is that the way you see it and the way Google saw Hangouts or decided, the way they envisioned it is not the way necessarily the way the user sees it. And I think that's what Chris is saying here is that people grab onto something and they start messing with it, and we run into we can't get beyond the box that they put us in. What we really need to be able to do is have an API and a platform that says, guys, we're putting up prizes. We're putting up $100,000 prizes for the best idea to execute a Hangout. What we want to do is we're going to run this contest, and whoever comes up with it. Well, I missed something, Chris?
No. I still believe the problem is there are not enough people inside of Google who are afraid to speak their mind, externally. Like the developer.
Yeah.
You mean there are too many people afraid to speak their mind?
Yeah, too many people.
Yeah, afraid. Yeah, they're afraid to lose their job.
Right. Find someone who isn't afraid to speak their mind.
Well, and I want to say something. I want to make a precursor to the post I put up there. So the post was based off what we were talking about. I didn't ask for anybody's permission in here to put that up because it was kind of a general consensus. And it's Google doesn't understand what they're doing with social. I totally agree with that. Now, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to call me out in that thread and say, well, if it weren't for Google, you wouldn't have 35,000 followers, and you shouldn't slap the hand that feeds you. This hand isn't feeding me anything. At most, it's giving me 50 outlinks to my website out of 35,000 followers and an average interaction of 15 reshares a post. That's ridiculous.
They started down the right path with Search Plus Your World, and I may be in a very small group of people who watch technology. Well, generally people who are viewed as a technology publisher, or a pundit, or whatnot.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like what Google did. I think they did the right thing. That is the one thing that is going to save them from search engine.
And we kind of knew it was coming. We kind of knew they were going to do something.
I mean, you'd be crazy not to believe that this is just the best thing Google could possibly do. The bigger challenge is accommodating what Google Plus is and what it isn't. And unfortunately, every single Google Plus discussion I have wants to bring up Facebook. It's not Facebook. It's not even close to Facebook. It's closer to Blogger. If they start treating it more like Blogger, a publishing platform, giving people the tools to do it, it will become the destination. Then the bigger challenge becomes when Google search is involved. I mean, they're already kind of walking that very fine line. Being this a meritocracy of sorts of discovering content, which has worked and has not worked over time, at being someone who has walked SEO trends for years and years and years and still not being able to make heads or tails of it. Now they've got, like with Blogger, they've got a place or a solution for people to publish in. Google Plus takes that and accelerates it and gives everybody the opportunity to access that global audience in a way that Blogger never could. The missing pieces of Google Plus at this point are those publishing tools that separate it from Facebooks of the world and the Twitters of the world, and it's not there. It's not there. The social part is kind of there, but there's nothing that's drawing people back in once they sign up. Nothing. No matter what we do, they're not coming back in. Because there's having the tool there outright is just having the tool. You have to make those connections for people. You have
and
to
they're gonna
come back.
You've got to connect people with the content that they want to see. And Google gets it right because they're optimizing search by having people vote on what they're seeing, and there's some weights in there.
Google needs to bring in more content producers who
understand. Right, and on top of what you're saying, people that are here, they are finding people they like, and they're here at Google Plus for those people.
That's the problem. It's hard to find people they like. When my wife
that's true.
So much to get her here from Facebook, what I did was I added a horse circle, a food circle, a wine circle, and a doctor circle, right? She turned it on the next day. She's an ardent Facebook fan. She turned it on the next day and went, wow, look at this. There's people posting about stuff that I'm interested in. This is cool. I don't even know these people. Who are these people? How do they, wow. That's the experience people should have, not nothing's going on. I added 6 people. Why this place sucks. I'm out of here.
One of the problems is, Robert, I added a foodie circle about 2 months ago. It was suggested these are the people you want to add if you're into cooking or food. From that circle, I have 4 people left. There were 60 people. Either the people aren't posting anymore, or they don't really post anything about food. Or they started posting about food and then have stopped.
And that's what Google can do. Google can measure those people that put that stuff together can then measure it and say they either conform or they don't. If they don't,
they got to have police saying, you're not posting about food anymore. You're off of this.
Take it, man. Go.
But you're absolutely right. If you can give me more, if you can give the publisher, the person who's sharing the information, more statistic about who's picking it up and who isn't, you give them a better chance to engage that community. And by keeping those statistics, clandestine at best, you're eliminating any kind of possibility of increasing engagement. And without those connections, people are going to look at it, and again, going back to the monetization principle, why would I share stuff here when I can share it even on Blogger.com and get paid for it?
Exactly.
I mean,
I want to pop something in. Louis Gray just hopped in this in the thread, and I'm going to read you what he writes. It's Peter McDermott. There have been many public comments from Vic, Larry, and others about Google+. Growth here has been significant. We have a lot more to go. No company is perfect at social, but we're very happy with the community on Google+. Yeah. The project is almost 8 months old, and we've done so many things that other companies assume to be social have not done. Other than this, I don't... Listen to this part. Other than this, I don't know that debating this is a good idea. Let the product and our users decide how we are interpreting it.
So we shouldn't be talking about this right now.
I think what he's saying is right, but the discussion point is, does Google get social? And I've yet to see any indication that the brass they really get social and what makes it work, what makes a community flow. There's nothing even on YouTube, and granted that was an acquisition, that screams community. And there's things that they could do to make it more community-oriented. We just have barely scraping the surface. Even Ning failed on in a colossal way with their platform because they had community tools, but they didn't have community ethos. And without those connections, it's never going to work.
And it's funny you bring up Ning, though, because Ning tried it. Ning wasn't there yet, and then they forced the pay thing on everybody. Like before it was even...
Well, that's a completely different battle. My point is,
sit around on Facebook
just because you have
how Facebook could be better.
What are we looking at, Robert?
That's what it is. They're blind sheep. We're here because we're passionate about Google+. We're passionate about this space.
Tell us about the map.
Oh, this is a map of my followers. Okay. This is my audience.
Are we advertising? Should I put up a poster?
No, it looks it looks a little like a disease. I'm scared.
It does. Yeah. It's contagious.
So Chris, John Fanavans, another good point he makes is one of the problems is everything here is so dynamic. There's nothing static. So one of the things I would like to see is when you go to my About page or my profile, I don't want the long form post to be there. I want there to be a compressed version so you can actually get a snapshot of what I'm talking about. You know, the way Pinterest and the new timeline on Facebook work, they're central in the idea that you can see many things, easily digested snippets at the same time. It doesn't have to be the same UI. It can be totally different. But by having the long-form post, when you click on my name, it doesn't make any sense. Every time I post something on my blog, I have a read more button because I want people to be able to see several different things I'm writing about. That's a strategy you'll see on any website.
Yeah. No, that is right. If I go to somebody's page and want to see something that's 4 stories old, but all I can see is their latest, wall of text, it kind of turns me off from having to go and search and all.
Right.
And and we're obviously striking a chord with a lot of people. A lot of people are watching. A lot of people are interested. Google, all of a sudden, their ears are perked up. We got Bradley, we got Lewis. They're all like, this show happens weekly. We've talked about a lot of different things, and now it's just like people are interested in what in Google Plus and making it better and making it more social.
So here's the thing with the map. So this is a map of my audience. The problem is most people can't even see their audience. And what I can't see beyond this is how I'm resonating with my audience when I speak, all right? So I can get basic statistics that say someone's listening or not listening, but I don't know where they're listening. I don't know what they're interested in. I have no way to correlate any of this data.
So what if Google were to start selling analytics for this and saying, hey, we've got all this. If you want access to it, you got to pay for it.
If I want to make money in this space, if I'm Carl Edwards or I'm coming into this space and I have followers or I'm trying to move a product or I'm trying to engage or I want to do something, I want some of that. I'll pay for that. I'll engage with it. But I don't think that's the level where you need it. Chris is absolutely spot on. Google should be attracting great content to this space and finding out how to keep it.
Entertainment, news, interest.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I started making some really compelling content in the beginning. I started spending a lot of my personal time, which is worth money doing other things, creating this content. And what I've found is the return on the investment of time I was having on this content is ridiculous if I'm going to make the What's Hot list with a freaking balloon, a balloon thing.
One of the current
it's been seen a million times.
One of the current What's Hot thing is once again a down with Facebook, up with Google Plus picture, and it just totally blows my mind. People cannot get over that mentality of hatred.
And I brought the What's Hot list up with Chris in the earlier segment, and he talked about it being popularity and who cares and doesn't look at it. And I mean, it's a feature that they brought in that maybe was a mistake to bring in because it's not really showing what's hot. It's just showing random
what some
stuff.
Googlers happen to like.
Yeah, it's not what's hot on Google Plus. It's just it's more random.
No, it's what some Googlers happen to like on Google Plus, which is fine.
But Google Plus isn't about a couple of Googlers. That's the problem.
It's usually quotes by dead people.
There's some of that. There's a formula. There's some things you can do.
Now here's a question. So I responded, Louis Gray, to his point. He says, our success is up to you. It is, and it isn't. They're giving us a bare bones construct to be successful, but I'm not going to spend time and attention in something or on something that I don't believe is going to have a payoff. I mean, unless, of course, Google wants me to build their value, I'm not a shareholder.
Well, this is the conversation that's going on for 8 months. We've been looking at this space going, it's phenomenal, it's incredible, so how do we monetize it? And I'm one of those people that everyone goes, all right, Anderson, what do you got this week? Because I'm always looking at this saying, where's it going, what's it going to do, how's it going to, because I think it is an incredible economic engine. I think it's important. I think it's incredibly, it has potential.
But to what Louis is saying, he doesn't think that it's going to be very healthy to have these discussions. I disagree. I think there are bigger problems in apathy than there are in dissension. The fact that we're even talking about this,
having these discussions would be broken.
And that's what I'm saying.
That was the whole point of your argument originally, Chris, is everybody's afraid to have these discussions. We start having the discussion, and Louis says, stop talking about that. That's not going to help.
Right, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but this is what's good about this place. I mean, and again, we're in a hangout. This is what this space is made for.
Yeah, well, he's
whether we're talking about Android, or we're talking about horse breeding, or we're talking about food or souffles or whatever the hell it is we're passionate about, that's what this space does.
See, that's the thing. The secret of engagement is avoiding apathy. You either want people to hate you or you want them to love you. You don't want them in between.
In 6 months, this hangout right here is the same hangout that will be had with fans of NASCAR that are talking about the chase, all right? Or football or basketball or whatever. It's going to be, we're talking about social media or whatever the hell we're talking about here. Doesn't matter. This same thing will be played out in this space with this tool if they do it right. by people that are passionate about ideas. That's what this space is about, or should be. How they make money, I don't know. Nah.
Well, they want it to be. It's the central hub to everything.
I know how they make money.
I know.
Ads!
I know how they make money. It's not rocket science. Treat it like Blogger, not like Facebook. This is what it is. It's a tool right now that's more like a content publishing system.
You have people come here and say, I can produce better content, I can produce better interaction, I can reach people, I have a great... Then they're here. But how do you encourage people to stay here?
I got to make another...
Do people have time to stay here?
I got another MMO analogy that is perfect exactly for this, because I just started playing Star Wars, and they've had all this time to develop this game. Warcraft's been around for 7 years. Yeah, they've got all this time to come out with this stuff, and they put it out a few months ago, and it's failed on a lot of levels. And a lot of things are, hey, we're waiting for new... Just sit back and wait for new content, the developers say. Exactly what Louis is saying. We're just starting out. We're, it's coming. Well, people are saying you've had 5 years to develop this game. Google Plus has had how long to develop this platform? How come all these things aren't in place to make it better from the start? How come we have to wait and wait and wait?
Because they haven't been developing it for that long.
But they can look at the model of Facebook and say, okay.
God, the wrong thing to chase.
It's not Facebook.
Ads.
It's not
ads.
It's
But what I'm saying
model
for
to
it
chase.
is ads. They need ads. Facebook has ads.
Understand that.
Ads here.
I understand that. Trust me, I understand that. But chasing Facebook's model of ads will not work in a construct that is not Facebook. Google Plus is not Facebook. It's not even close.
I'm just saying ads.
We do have plus, but you do have plus ones on ads, right? Like same thing as likes on ads, right?
Time out. Why do they have to be ads?
I watch the ads and I see the ads, but I just don't see a reason to plus one an ad.
You don't, but I've seen some of these YouTube video ads with all these freaking plus ones.
Because people think they're plus oneing the actual video. People use the dislike button in the same way.
I disagree. I plus one ads. If I find them relevant and affect me, because I'm trying to contribute to the algorithm, and when I see a commercial for tampons, I'm not going to plus one it. But when
I like tampons.
I'm surprised people even see ads. I mean, doesn't everyone have an ad blocker? I don't even see ads.
Well, Stacy, let me tell you something. If you have an ad blocker, you're ruining the internet.
I'm disabled. I'm ad blind.
We got a good slice here. We got people who shut the ads off. We got people who see the ads and ignore them. We got people who click on the ads.
I don't see but I don't see the value in plus oneing an ad. I don't. There's no value to me.
What's an ad to me are the people who are in my circles. The people in my circle saying, "Hey, Stacy, check this out." They're people I trust. They say, "Hey, check this out. This is worth you looking at." Not just random spam. You know.
Cam Meadows wanted me to share the Cadbury thing yesterday, and I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't, because
but wait a minute, Chris. Go back to not understanding the value of plus one in the ads. Is somebody that makes money for advertising. There is an intrinsic value in ads being plus one if people are actually contributing to an algorithm and your viewers are seeing more relevant ads, they're going to be more likely to click those.
I don't control it, and nothing has led me to believe in the years of using AdSense, even from the very beginning, to indicate that, gesturing one way or another that it's going to improve the click-through rate or the adoption or the value of serving up the ad outright. It gives one. The problem is that you're serving up an ad, you have them plus one something. I don't think the person who's serving the ad is getting paid for it when they get a plus one. So you've effectively eliminated the value of the ad. I could be wrong. Maybe plus one an ad is like a
right.
I don't think it's true. In which case, you're actually decreasing your ad's click-through rate.
You're removing real estate, yeah. You're taking pixels away.
The fewer options someone has to click on, the fewer things they're going to click on.
Chris, from an efficiency standpoint, how is your time best spent in this space to maximize what exists? Not what could be.
It's a balance. It's a balance because, I'm spending my time here now because I have the time to spare and because it's an important conversation to have. And as someone who's watched friends, watch things come and go, knowing full well that the time I spend sharing, like the things that we're talking about, it's throwing out ideas, and those ideas are what catch hold. So that, and I brought this up in a very in a roundabout way with that Matthew's Hangout earlier. When I meet people, sometimes they'll say, "Hey, Chris, I don't watch all your videos," and it's more important for me to have them say that they don't watch all my videos than anything, because they're telling me, "Hey, I know you make videos, and I know the content's worth seeing," and that kind of brand or that type of a persona is sometimes greater than the actual content that's being created itself. And so the time that I spend talking about these things, I mean, it's all about spreading influence, so to speak. People may think I'm a big windbag. They could be right, but it hasn't stopped me from sharing my ideas and my thoughts about these topics one way or another. So I'd spend my time here because the people that I'm talking to, you may be receptive, you may not be receptive. These are very important. I would consider a handful of you guys, I would consider the top engagers, as I know, on Google+. I mean, because I know you by name and potentially by personality. So I know this conversation is worth having with you because you're in the thick of things and we understand where this conversation is coming from.
Hey Chris, real quick, Brooke Brown's watching. She wanted to know she's talking about why the advertising campaign for Google Plus has been heavy, or she thinks it's been unsuccessful as far as the TV commercials. I know that new one with the baby that came out for the Grammys, that was a big thing that people were talking about that some people said made them cry.
It's not fixing a problem. It's not fixing a problem.
It's not showing.
It's not broken.
If you don't fix the user experience in day one and week one, it doesn't matter how many people you get to sign in. They've got to fix day one and week one. When they fix that, then they have a success.
And I think that's what Bradley, he was saying. He really thinks that something good is coming around the corner. That may be the thing that's coming.
Every time I just read that. I just read what he said. Yeah.
Chris,
but of course Bradley's
going
to say that.
And act like an ass and start bitching. Google releases something phenomenal that addresses
some Kool-Aid. Drink this.
I think they need more content, original content being created and shared in Google Plus for it to gain velocity. So it's kind of like putting the cart before the horse. Like if I've tried to search over and over again for unique Lego content. Like I'm legitimately interested in finding people who either work for Lego or who create Lego things or interested in talking about Lego.
Dude, you like Legos?
No, shut up.
No way! What's she saying?
I can
no, I'm serious. I got connections in Billund, in Denmark.
Robert's going to get you, Lego. Can you get us all Legos?
Are you kidding?
No, I'm serious. Jeg tager turen til dansk, fordi jeg bor der 2 år, so I can hook you up.
I want this whole hangout to take a trip to the Lego factory.
I'm going to go get some Legos. I'll be right back.
I used to work at Lego. I can get you people if you need to talk to them.
Let go of my arm. You're pulling my leg.
Chris, I can totally hook you up with Lego, man.
I've done Lego building hangouts.
Good God, Chris. He's in heaven now.
Lego.
You know what?
People, stop. He'll never do a Nomi thing again. Stop.
What?
I built it during the Nomi Hangout, Stacy.
So this is the coolest Target gift card holder I've ever seen in my life.
The dog. I wanted that one. I wanted to find that one.
What is it?
Do you want it? I'll send it to you.
Hang on, just a second. Let me.
Whoa.
Oh, that's cool. You gotta send that to him.
I'll send it to you, Chris.
Oh, wait. Peter, before you do that, make sure he shares something for you.
Hang on. Do you see that? Can you see all the Lego?
Yeah.
These are things that are still in the box that I have to put together yet.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to Hilton Head in a couple months, and I'm going to take pictures of all the Legos I have at my parents' house in storage. And you might want to go in a quiet room when you look at them.
You want to be by yourself when that happens.
Bring a sock and some Kleenex with you.
Oh, you didn't go there. We were just trying to hit.
Chris, if you get to Denmark and you get to Billund, I will get you a private, personal backstage tour of they have a storage unit there with all of the sets they've ever had. I'll get you in.
That's hilarious.
Chris, I can probably get you I can get you a tour through the model shop in Enfield.
Dude, go do that. Seriously.
Well, Chris needs some help because someone submitted, and I don't know the names of this.
Aaron, is that a lightsaber?
Yeah, I keep trying to show this to Chris. Does
it turn on? Turn it on.
I used to work for Lego. And
tell him, Chris, about your office. He's got this link to have his office Legoed, and he needs some help. He needs some people to sign up and get it Legoed.
I've got a Kusu. There's a Kusu from Lego that someone had built the Chris Pirillo home office in Lego, and I need to get 25,000 votes. Wait, no, 10,000 votes. I'm at 32.
For what?
For Lego to consider building this as an official set. And they never will. But they did an amazing job at building my home office in Lego.
Yep.
Amazing. And I can't buy these bricks outright, at least easily, through their system. It needs to be. It's never going to make it.
You got to talk to the right people, Chris. You got to know the right people. That's the.
Robert Pitt's all upset. We moved from Google Plus to Legos. No.
The funny thing is I could probably drive 20 minutes and go into the model shop and pick every brick that person used, put them in a bag, and mail them to you.
Yeah, you know, it'd be awesome.
No, could doesn't matter. Could is irrelevant. Will you? Because that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's a good one. Will you? That's all that matters.
For $250 and a suggested user list, I will.
Buy his poster, Chris. Buy his poster.
Legos.
No, it's not Legos. It's Lego bricks.
It's Lego brand building bricks.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
What? I know my stuff.
Wait,
besides $250.
Wait.
Because I can go. We'll go raid Sarah Hill's Fund for Children to get you your.
All right.
Wait, why?
You better check for that.
Why are people like Alex Landgraby and John Fairvans are apparently not fans of Lego?
No, they want us to plus debate more. Plus debate. Wow.
Haven't we beaten that to death?
I thought we. Wow. That we really beat plus debate.
You know, people don't talk. We don't talk too much. We don't talk enough about Google Plus and Hangouts, so we need to talk more.
This needs to be like Fight in here, so he can.
Just thank God we're not talking about Google Plus on Google Plus.
He'll be talking about Google Plus. That's what we do, though. It happens.
Wait. Eric Rice, who should be in this Hangout, actually.
All right, I'll get him in if you want.
A Lego G Plus logo would go viral, and that culture has to change. It turns off the friends you can't get here, and it makes the sell even harder. People you don't know, plus weird cheerleading. Seriously.
What? Seriously. Cheerleading Legos? What?
Okay, so let's talk about Duplos.
Duplo.
No.
What? No. Well, I don't know.
I don't like Duplo. Sorry, not a fan.
So who's going to play you in the Google Plus movie, Chris? That's probably the answer.
Ooh, good one. Good one, Max.
Rick Moranis.
Rick
Moranis. He'd be too old. No. It'd have to be. Oh God, who could it be?
Chris, didn't you see what they did for Hannibal Lecter? In the movie
they're gonna. Oh, really?
They can do that for
CG.
Moranis. Yeah, totally CG his face.
Who's the guy that used to be the Affleck guy? Affleck.
There's Eric Rice.
Okay.
Oh, Galvin.
Okay, Eric, please regale us with why we should not be talking about Google Plus. Because I agree with you, Eric. Spin.
Hello, Mr. Rice. Welcome to Conversations Plus. You are Meta with the laptop there. Nice.
Thank you. Hang on, I'm lagging a second.
All right, stop doing that.
He's not prepared.
All right.
No, I'm lagging. Hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, one man with one device that can read his mind.
Teenagers from all around the Google Plus watching right now.
What was the question?
Use that,
please. Yeah, put that in the right place.
Yeah. There you go.
Eric, something about Google Plus. That was the question.
Well, I was watching for a little bit, and it's maddening. I've really been fascinated with the 80-20 rule, how it seems like things like the What's Hot list comes from Hangout culture. All of the G+, all that weird, like, us versus them thing comes from Hangout culture. And I'm part of it, too. I love video. I've been doing video stuff forever. And it's like, how does video drive so much of this, where the people that run the place, ultimately, the people guilty of all the little nuances that are turning it into MySpace are the Hangouters. And I maintain that Hangout people are great to hang out with, but awful to follow. In the actual stream, I never want to really circle people that
they're too busy hanging out.
Yeah, and the good stuff comes out in video. Not Hangouts, it's video. Let's get it straight. Google did not invent video. They just can afford video. That's the truth. It's just frustrating to see. And it doesn't make it easier to get your friends over here if you think this is the new piece of real estate you want to hang out on for until.
Eric, you don't like cat gifs? Come on.
So wait, Eric, you're talking about people in Hangout culture. So let's dissect that a little bit. Like, who in here? Like, I have to say that everybody in here that I know, with the exception of Chris Pirillo, who I met on Tech TV, everyone here I've met through Hangouts, and I actually kind of enjoy a lot of the content from these people.
But Peter,
are you talking about a different subculture?
At this point in time, though,
yeah, I think
if you think about it, how many times over the last few months have you seen share this group, share this circle? These are the people who. How many times have you seen new people added to that to the extent that the circle's grown so much that it's new and fresh? It's the same 100 people every freaking time.
No, the Nomi's circle that I share, that's actually a very diverse group of people.
That's good. It's different. I see the same people getting shared over and over again. These people engage. These people engage. I want to see new people that are engaging. Instead of the same
Aaron,
100.
Are there?
Aaron, one thing I do is I keep track of the people that interact heavily with my posts. I have two tiers of circles. I have a circle for listening, so anytime you comment on my post more than once, you get put in the listening circle.
Yep.
Anytime I notice that you're really interacting with my stuff, I put you in the circle of engagement.
Yep.
And I share those two circles quite often.
Peter,
and they're not people I've ever
though.
hung out with.
You're different than the normal model, though. I see the same people doing the same things.
The TNORM.
Yeah, you do different things, and you have a different spin on it, which is good because you're rotating the content. A lot of people are just sharing the same things over and over and over.
Yeah, can we get out of the habit of calling somebody an engager and sharing that circle? I hate my follower count. 15,000 people circle me? That is crap. That is utter crap. That number means nothing to me because it's here's a share of 100 people, and then the shared circle gets reshared? Come on, I am not an engager. What the heck does that mean? What do you do? What do you do? Mom asks what you do. I'm an engager, Mom.
Peter, if you make an engager page.
Eric, you're not an engager. You're an influencer.
Whichever.
Hey, Chris,
but just by the virtue of you being here and being in this conversation, you are an engager. And the thing is, there's either consumable content here or interactable content.
Eric's interesting, right? I mean, is that what engager is? Does that mean you're interesting?
Eric, what's your cloud score? You can't be in this topic.
No,
let's not. We can talk about cloud in a second. Wait.
Started on cloud. I deleted it.
Let Chris talk about the vernacular.
Let me just give you a little perspective here. Eric is the person who bought my first Flickr Pro account. He bought it for me years ago.
Cloud doesn't measure that.
Cloud definitely doesn't measure that, but that's as much the value of quote-unquote cloud as anything might be.
So do you think that, the idea that cloud thinks Google Plus is the top thing to measure people by is a mistake?
I think cloud is a mistake. I think cloud is irrelevant. It's a mistake.
And why does everyone so dependent upon cloud? Like, or why do they say they are? Why do
the same reason they were about Alexa.
Keep their jobs.
Because they want
Alexa was like gospel file. Here's a toolbar that only works on one browser.
It's another website.
Men, we measure stuff. That's what we do. We're men. Okay?
All right, everybody, whip it out. Let's see who's biggest
here.
Eric, I just circled you because I think you're a top engager.
Clout is spelled with C, and real clout gets you speaking engagements and book deals. Not stupid little badges on a Web 2.5 website. That's what cloud is. And if the VCs in Silicon Valley want to give money to that, well, God bless them. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I will say about cloud, too, when they connected Google Plus, there was a glitch, and I was a celebrity for a week, and I didn't get a reality TV show deal or nothing.
What? That's BS.
They got to get in touch with you.
Stop wearing the hat.
The hat. You screwed up, man. The hat.
Yeah, that's it. It's all the power of the hat.
They were looking for that guy in the hat. They could never find you. You lost your opportunity.
No, it's all about the hat.
Where is the hat, by the way?
It's missing it.
It's here somewhere.
He's moved on from the hat.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your thing. That's your stick, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to see people sharing. I want to see the guys with 500,000 followers sharing engaging and interesting people, if we're going to go down those buzzword avenues, who have maybe 30 followers. The most exciting people for me are the forgotten ones that fell through the cracks, the ones that live in the virtual flyover country of Google+.
Yep. Yeah,
Well, Eric,
they all left.
I haven't
They all
seen.
left.
I haven't seen Eric's stuff, but when it comes to engaging with your listeners, do you ask them to respond? Do you ask them to reply? Give me ideas.
And it is very difficult. Yes,
I have no idea what Eric does in this space. Like, actually, everyone in this space, I don't pay attention to your streams. I don't comment on your stuff. I hang out with you guys. My entire experience, I'm like an idiot savant. My entire experience in this space is if I see you in a hangout. If I see you in a hangout, I hang out with you, I talk to you. I don't go back and +1 and like and comment. No. This is how I know you guys. This is it. That's it.
And we have tremendous egos on video. I mean, the social space for years has been about us talking and not listening. Somebody just asked me, hey, it says Portland on your Twitter profile. I thought you were in California. Yeah, 3 years ago I was. Or you see people that have babies and they get comments about it a year later. When did you have a baby? Does anyone listen? No, we're too busy talking. We have nice microphones and pretty high-definition cameras, and that's pretty much where it ends. Even the most engaging of us can't get past that.
Hey, guys, I gotta laugh. Have you guys been, sorry, not to throw everybody off this track, have you been following the Dan Lyons, or fake Steve Jobs, as he was more commonly known as, and Robert Scoble, the post that Dan posted on his blog earlier today?
No, I haven't seen that.
No, link us.
Toss us a link.
Peter, I know you must have, or did you not see this post?
I just saw the post. I told him I want to do a hangout with him. Yes.
So he did a blog post basically lambasting Robert Scoble. And potentially this was based on a rumor. And he was lambasting Robert Scoble because he's saying, what happened to journalistic integrity and ethics? And like, wait a minute. So you didn't fact check and you called someone out on not having ethics? Like,
nice.
What? It's really kind of funny. A couple of people were like, hold up, I need to make another batch of popcorn. This is going to be very entertaining, guys. This is
all right, time to start posting GIFs.
It's not getting. Do we need to share this? Apparently, we need to share this.
This could definitely be a big one.
Are you guys on Reddit?
Read but not use.
Let's see if I can find the original blog post. He has it somewhere.
I just want Google Plus to start generating more drama for me and view it like a reality show.
Look, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Oh, we can do that.
Yeah.
But what we're doing right now, I mean, people are watching, they're interested, they're engaged. This is content that you can't get anywhere else.
I need to get rid of that word.
This is content or hurt?
No, is it not? I mean, for some.
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference in this as content is something you throw up in your blog and has a half-life of 5 days?
Well, this
Let
is
it have a half-life
talking, and what are they going to say next? What are they going to say next?
The instant gratification. Good grief. Calm down. Write a book. Let it, and write a book not on like G+ for Dummies. Write a book for like
Eric is here. We should play the Fix It or You're Fired game.
Oh, Fix It or You're Fired.
Oh, Eric Rice, yeah, you're in charge of Google. Fix it.
We'll see how far it goes until Matthew, you can shut down when you get bored. Aaron, Google Plus, Fix It or You're Fired. What would you do?
Oh, me? I thought we were going to Eric. I haven't prepared my notes yet.
Something with a sock, right? You mentioned socks.
I would merge it with Facebook.
What?
See, that's why I don't run.
No, you're 10 times bigger than that. You could buy Facebook, but why is that a good acquisition?
Well, you've got the whole, hey, I know everybody over there social aspect already in place. These
and a user base.
Let you buy it.
And a user base, exactly. So you merge the two together. You add Hangout.
Wait, do you merge them?
Oh, or do you...
I don't know about merging them. Maybe, not to cut you off, but maybe you want to slowly do that. And that's not,
don't do it all at once.
Yeah, that might kill them.
Would the government let you buy it?
Do you buy it? I don't know. Make an offer.
No, but would the government let you?
Oh, no, they wouldn't. That would never go over.
Google Book?
They would have to do the Baby Bell thing and split it off into all these...
So you'd be like that guy from AT&T that just got clocked for $2 million because he wanted to merge with T-Mobile, but it didn't work, so he's in trouble now.
Isn't that epic? They got free money. I love it.
Hell yeah. Eric, you're in charge of Google. Fix it or you're fired.
I would immediately lift this ridiculous mandate that is company-wide that says we must succeed at social or whatever, you're fired or you don't get benefits or anything. You are not going to build a quality product when you are scrambling for your life. You're not going to build a quality product when you are competing against somebody else you're building the same product. Google's building a Facebook just backwards, like in a different order. right? That mandate is killing it. They're putting people in roles that they are not ready to do. They are doing whatever it takes. They're throwing crap at a screen and being like, looks like a UI to me. There is probably so much internal politics right now because it is an absolute mess. Drop the mandate and let your very talented people. Look, I used to really, really love Google. Nothing has come along that has out-innovated anybody in years. Why am I so angry with Google now? Because I'm watching a great company just have as much attention span as my children. And it should not be that way. Stop acting like a startup.
Holy shit, man. That is internet gold right there, brother.
Drop the mandate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
you're up, dude. All right, cool. I would say a little bit what we're talking about with social, and yet, actually, really, they say they're listening to us. Really listen. Really, not just listen to us. Not just bring us back in for a feedback session. Hire more people like us and engage outside of the platform with us and actually have weekends where you pay us and involve us and we show you ideas and we interact on a bigger level outside the box. I'm talking about like the Hangouts in real life. What's going on there?
Yeah,
that is
a mosh pit of ideas.
The funny thing, Jacob Chappell in the Peter McDermott's Google Doesn't Get Social post is suggesting, and I think he's off his rocker. It's an interesting idea, but he's batshit crazy if he thinks this could work. He says ads are not the way to go with Google+. He says what we need is a system whereby we, the users, can gift items such as Google Deals, original art, music from Google Music, social good project, Kickstarter projects, etc. to each other. This system should have a social score associated with it. The more you gift, the higher your public score. Make a social game out of giving to others. Make everything one click to gift for ease of use. That does not fall. Google does not make money from gifts.
But they could.
Gifts. Take the T off, and they do.
Yeah,
exactly. Mike, you're up. Google.
I think it was spot on earlier about, oh shit, I just lost that thought.
Everyone has to have a magic Muppet hat. That would help.
No, but I thought it was spot on earlier about, a lot of the Google employees, there's not really anyone who, will say what's on their mind. It's a lot of, yes, okay, we'll do this. We'll get this done, okay, but there's not really anyone questioning that. So yeah, I think
they're busting their ass, and Eric was so spot on there. You know what? These guys are just busting their ass to get it done.
And that's great, and that's great that they're doing that work. But if you're not, if you're not, I don't know exactly how to put it, but I mean, just never mind.
Peter, you're up.
Hey, Peter, I want to take a pause just for 1 second because you mentioned Jacob Chappell, and he actually said this is indeed content. He is watching us talk instead of watching Game of Thrones. So what does that say?
Hey!
Score!
You know what? I immediately disqualify that because Game of Thrones came out last year. It's old content.
So it doesn't matter. He's still pausing to watch it.
So wait, who's watching this?
Jacob Chappell said this is indeed content because he's stalling on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's the guy with the batshit crazy idea on giving away everything.
It's an interesting idea, but it's not Google at all. Like, it's not even close to
But it's Google plus Google, so there you go. New things.
But wait a minute, so the problem with this here is...
It's finally paid off. They recognized your genius. They just picked up the phone and decided that you're in charge.
And they like your top row.
All right, so
fix it, you're fired.
Okay, so...
Wait, do it in Tom Brokaw.
Jeez, okay, are we going to... Matt, you're fired. That's the first decision we're going to make here.
Yes.
No, I'm going to quote Jim Collins, and I'm going to say it's the who before the what. You can't decide where you're going to drive the bus until you figure out who you're going to put on it. Now, Chris, I wouldn't ever want you to work for Google because you create great content and people interact with it. So I wouldn't want you to...
Wouldn't that be better if I worked for Google? What if I stayed the same and worked for Google? Why are they mutually exclusive?
That's what I would.
Why do they have to be mutually exclusive?
What if he's a consultant? What if he was a consultant, not an employee?
Won't the money poison you?
No, dude,
absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Okay, so wait, let's go to Seth Godin and talk about the idea virus and talk about promiscuous sneezers. Let's talk about people that make money from sneezing stuff and how they have distrust from people because people know that they're making money off of it.
Well, this is the whole kerfuffle around Dan Lyons and Robert Scoble, as a matter of fact.
Right, exactly. And you're seeing what's happening from that. There's a feud arising out of that.
The bottom line is transparency, and that's a line that I've certainly walked as a content publisher. If I share something that is sponsored or paid for or with any amount of disclosure, I have to do that. Otherwise, my integrity is on the line. It's transparency is what it boils down to. Nothing else.
Okay.
Transparency.
But I was just using you as an example because
Sure.
my point is what I would like to see Google do is take a step back out of Silicon Valley, pretend they're a VC, and start looking for the people with the ideas. Robert's got an idea on how to make this accessible. Other people have ideas on how to monetize this. Other people have ideas on how they can integrate it with broadcasts like Sarah Hill. I'm not saying they're the best ideas. I'm not saying they would work today or tomorrow. But I'm saying if Google were to step back and pretend they're a VC and not try to own something that they're not yet familiar with, they may be more successful with the other innovators out there that have the fresh perspective.
But they're not going to take. I don't know. Bradley's already tuned out by now. But I don't know if they're going to take a step to bring aboard people who've been living in the trenches and not just drinking out of Google's fountain. Those are the people who will ultimately serve Google better because they don't
go against the.
You got to go. You don't always have to go against the grain just to go against the grain. But when something, I have a history of not doing well in environments going back to when I used to work for Best Buy, not selling Packard Bells because I saw the return rates were higher than other computers. And I didn't get fired, but I was told in a certain amount of words that, no, you need to be selling computers equally, giving consumers what they want. And my response to that, which really almost got me fired, is, well, consumers don't want a broken computer. That was too transparent for Best Buy at a local thread. I'd had similar conversations inside of Tech TV. Well, bottom line with that one is, I'm still around, they're not. So...
People don't like the truth when it's uncomfortable.
Yes.
That's what I was saying about the parenting thing. No one wants to hear that their child is fat. No one wants to hear that their child has problems. They just want to hear everything's fine, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
So does the culture at Facebook and Apple, are they more social? Are they more in touch with what's going on?
No,
they're just as guilty.
When it comes to social.
You can only +1 and like stuff. There is no dislike. There is no -1 because we've got this only positive reinforcement. Everyone gets a trophy for participation, and there's nothing negative in this world.
Well, no, Eric. To me, I'm sorry. I do not like dislike buttons at all. Not at all. The dislike button is the close button on your browser or the back button. That's it. That's the dislike button. It's all we need for dislike.
And the +1 button is the spam button.
Well, not necessarily a spam button. I wouldn't say a +1's a spam button at all.
Because you can game it up as much as you can game it down.
It's arbitrary. It is arbitrary. And when you tie your velocity on your vote, when your vote counts against you, you're less likely to use that in a devil-may-care attitude. This is the reason why you're not finding people circling just about everybody who circles them on Google+, because it'll influence their search results. And if you circle a spammer, suddenly your search results are going to turn into crap. There's no way anybody's going to do that outright. It takes that paradigm and puts it on its ear.
You can't have a dislike.
I'm gonna take the liberty of going last, and I'm really excited about the next two guys. Ryan, you've been quiet all night. You listen intently.
Yeah, if you want to say
about this, is that you are the guy that you've been in this space. You have a product. It's interesting. It's unique. It's incredible. And you've been trying to find a place to land in this space, but we're going to change everything. You're now in charge of this. You're the guy that can deliver where this space is going and what it's doing. What are you going to do?
Well, this has been great. I mean, I feel like I'm, the little kid in the big...
Wait, I have to interject for 1 second, Ryan. You have to sing this response.
No, you don't.
I just feel like compared to all of you in here, that I've just turned the doorknob and creaked the door open. Because I really have. I mean, It's very organic to me still. I'm still feeling my way around. That's what I love about Google Forms, is that I guess that's the creative person in me. I like to go searching and trying to find things, but I don't know how. I don't know what I would do to fix it.
What about from a musician or a music producer, or that, if you want to take that angle?
I think Robert touched on a good point way back there on them localizing things, so that when you join Google Plus, that you're automatically, you type in your interests and you're drawn to those things immediately. I like that idea, but at the same time, I like the organicness where, it's not a word, but
it is now.
It is now.
That you just get on and you're like, you don't know what to do. You got to search things out for yourself and find people. That's what I love about it. And
it's like an adventure, a little adventure.
Yeah, in terms of music, I mean, I'm not here to sell my music. I'm really not. I'm not going to sell much music at all. But I love to perform. I love to talk to people. I love to meet new people. And that's what's happening for me. I am not here to sell my CD. That's
so are you disappointed in your experience here as compared to, like, say, your experience in Facebook?
Absolutely not. This has been the most incredible experience I've had. Really.
Why?
I mean,
what about it? What's happened here that's incredible?
It's so personal. It's so personal. You can talk to anyone around the world at any given moment.
It's real time.
Facebook, it's terrible. I don't even touch it, really.
And 4 of us in this room have met in real life? What does that say?
But see, that's what gets me. What makes this so much easier to talk to people than it does the people on Facebook? I engage, God, I hate that word. I talk to people on Facebook all day using the same stuff and same topics that I do over there that I do over here, and I get equal amount. All these people that say, you can't be on Facebook, everybody there is stupid and doesn't talk.
But you're not going to get trolled by these people. We're not trolling.
Family. I mean, this has the Twitter thing. The most excitement that I saw.
You know what, though? Trolling in its natural sense is one of the best things that can happen to this network because it challenges people's ideas.
Agreed.
It's like SeaWorld.
No, it makes people cry and go hang themselves. That's what.
You're talking cyberbullying. That's totally different. That's totally different.
Stacy,
true.
You're second to last, and we're going to throw you the keys.
But one sec. I just want to ask.
Wait,
go.
Yeah, I was just curious, just from listening to you guys. Obviously Google did a lot of planning before they launched this. Now, how much research did they do? If you guys are sitting here having this conversation, I mean, did they not research the other social medias in terms of
I think there's enough precedent in the world to know how certain things work in Busytown.
Yeah, so
I'm amazed that Google did not do it. It's almost like they worked in isolation.
That's what I said too. They've had so long to develop.
They don't talk to each other. Yeah.
Chris, before
you're not even social in the office.
Get it out, Fred.
Chris's head just exploded.
They play ping pong, don't they? Damn it! We saw the ping pong tables.
He took the glasses off. He's turned into Super Chris now. Super Pirillo.
They have foosball tournaments. Come on.
Brace yourselves.
Wait a minute. So Google Plus, a social network, so to speak, social application, was developed in secret. Okay. I got it. I think I got it.
It's secret. It's
not in secret, in isolation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, in isolation, even better.
How do you not, for example, Hangouts and just simple moderation controls, how do they not know what can happen when you have there is no moderator? And I still use IRC to this day. If somebody shows up that's being a pain in the butt, out of here. If you're continually, I can ban you. I have my rooms, I have my channels. This has been done so many times before. The way certain networks group information together. It's just basic stuff. It's not like it's hard, but
everybody on Google Plus should play nice, and they don't want to give anybody any power to veto anybody else. So.
It's like they're a new generation, and they're finding the same shit that has already been found. Was it like Star Trek Next Generation? They are discovering the same shit that the first guys did.
I like engineers, but guys, you cannot put an algorithm on the neuroses and the irrationality of humanity.
Well, what I was going to say is it keeps you from inviting everyone just to invite everyone. You're only inviting people